Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Rob, and today we're not playing this game because that would be wrong. And let me just fix that. Always something. Thanks to these people right here for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. If you'd like to support the channel, you don't have to, but you can. Links are in the video description. Full disclosure, this game was not provided by a publisher. I'm not being paid to play this. This was purchased from a local game store. And I'll be playing solo today, the game Earth, which is from the same genre and kind of a little scary how close it is to Terraforming Mars, Wingspan, Everdell, Ark Nova. I don't know. There's probably other games too, but those are the games that I played that instantly after I played this on the weekend with 4 players. Instantly, I was like, oh my God, we just played basically Wingspan, Terraforming Mars, those games. Like, it's just another one of those games. But it's the newest one, I think. So people seem to care about it more than the last one. But yeah, it's that same kind of genre. So if you're interested in, like, you love Terraforming Mars, you like Wingspan, you like Everdell, all these engine building, victory point games, Tableau building, that kind of stuff, it's got that. With the beautiful art, I guess not art, beautiful Google images. And the ones are good in this game, I feel. Graphic design is good. It's kind of like a Zen engine building game, but we're going to play the solo mode today, which I've played once. And yeah, it's okay. It's like multiplayer. When you play this multiplayer, it's kind of like a multiplayer solitaire game. It's one of those kind of games, if that makes sense. I feel like you're never really messing with other players. But yeah. So that's what we're playing today. Hello everyone. Hello, hello. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a good week. All right, so here's the game we're playing. It's somehow like literally delivered to Kickstarter backers, like I think in like March. We're here in July of 2023. I got the retail copy I'm playing today, but I know this was on crowdfunding. In fact, fun fact, in one of my coffee chat live streams where I was looking at Kickstarter projects, I was like scrolling through Kickstarter the day before or GameFound or whatever site, crowdfunding site, whatever. And I remember seeing this one, and it was funny because it was from a Canadian publisher. So I was like, oh, cool. Let me look at it. And I kind of like just browsed it quickly. I was like, oh, okay. It's kind of like targeting the Wingspan audience, you know, like that kind of idea. And I thought it looked pretty, looked kind of well done. They seem to know what they're doing. So I brought it up on there just as like, it's not a game I'll probably get, but it's a game that looked pretty and some people might be interested and I think it might be popular or something like that, I said. And yeah, like a year later, boom, this thing's like hotness and everyone wants it, selling out in seconds. Yeah, so I kind of saw that one coming, but I was kind of proud because I was like, oh, it's a Canadian publisher, so I'll shout it out. But that's good. So here we are. I now own it and I'm playing it. And the group I played it with did like it a lot. They probably already bought it by now, even though I told them to look at all the games that I just mentioned and kind of pick one that has a theme. They love Wingspan, but they've never played Ark Nova, Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, Everdell. So I told them to look at all these games before they just run out and buy Earth. You know what I mean? Because one of those other games might have the theme or the mechanics tweaks that they might like better for their group and stuff. So, but yeah. Addy, is that game very similar to these kind of games? Is it the same kind of engine building, kind of like a Zen theme? You know, animals, Earth, planets, that kind of stuff? Because all of those games, like Everdell, Terraforming Mars, like Earth, Wingspan, Ark Nova, are all like, you know, kind of going for that animal ecosystem, kind of like, you know, Zen kind of chill, like back to science class kind of vibe. They like all literally like, man, animals sell. All right, let's do it. Let's do it again. Not exactly. Okay, then I don't want to hear about it. Don't just start throwing out random game names, Addy. You can't do that, man. It's got to be in this category. We're only talking about engine building games with plants and or animals and or ecosystems only, okay? Only that. That's all that anyone cares about every year. You just need a new one to come out every year, and that becomes the hotness game. So yeah. The board game industry is getting boring. All right. Anyways, okay, we're gonna play this today. Oh, it's ranked overall 234 already. That's where I was going with that. But for some reason, it's still not ranked 8 or higher, so it's obviously garbage. Okay, so it's only a 7.9. Most games that are like racing up to the top 100 at least have a green hex there and are rated 8 or higher. So just because it's not green and rated 8 or higher, it must be a garbage game. Okay, that's just obvious. Anyways, I'm just kidding. All right. So here's the game. So I'm going to try to explain this kind of quickly. You'll see it as we play through it. We normally do full playthroughs here. If you're new to the channel, which yes, you might be because you just found this game on the internet. You're like, who's this idiot? We normally play like kind of theme heavy, medium weight to heavyweight kind of campaign legacy games. We splash a few Euros in here and there. I'm a huge Fantasy Flight Games fan. So if that helps you understand what kind of games I'm looking for, it's like competitive card games, lifestyle games, themes, IPs that I can relate to. Help me mesh learning and mechanics to themes. That helps me a lot. But I don't mind a multiplayer competitive game. I like them. And yeah, this has the victory points, like engine building stuff. I like those kind of games too. So, but I just don't play them that often on the channel. They don't do too well, but I love playing them off stream a lot. I do like playing these kind of games with a group at the table. Solo, not so much, but I do want to show this solo mode because the game's pretty cool. I do want to stream this multiplayer at some point, but we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Maybe this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. So I'll try to explain the game as best I can. We'll play through a full playthrough. We'll add up our victory points, see if we can beat the AI. And you guys can play along. Yell at me. We'll pick cards together. We'll go through the setup together. There's some choices that'll be made. We'll play the advanced setup rules where we actually get to like kind of draft our starting cards a little bit. It's like, you know, tiny bit of choice. But we'll do that. We'll set it all up together. But I'll give you a quick overview right here. Quote unquote quick. We're doing this live, of course. But yeah, if you do notice any rules goofs or anything, feel free to comment down in the video, in the comment section after the video. Timestamp it if you can, help other people learn from my mistakes. I won't be perfect. I've only played the game 2 times, once multiplayer, once solo. So I'm not an expert, but I've played games like this quite a bit. So if you understand like engine building games, you know, just line up the same abilities that you're trying to score your final victory points on, and it'll kind of make sense. But there's lots of deep strategy. This is one of those games that's like pretty easy to learn. The rule book is not deep because the mechanics are light. It's not a deep game, but the strategy is crazy because it is one of those unique deck games, basically, or unique cards in the deck, no duplicates. So basically the base rules where you learn like 90% of the stuff, it even says in here, where is it? Literally after like 9 pages of this ginormous floppy rulebook, it says you're 90% ready to play. After only 9 pages out of 15. And the complexity is at 2.87. So the rules is like one of those easy to learn, hard to master kind of things. It's like that kind of game. So like you want to play it over and over again, like, because there's like all the 1,000, there's like 400 cards here or something. Like the deck is huge, right? It's one of those crazy games like Ark Nova, like Terraforming Mars, Wingspan, where the deck's just full of cards. And depending on what you get and what you throw away and what shows up later, might change your strategy on the fly, might hurt your strategy. You got to make best do with what you're getting thrown at you. It's that kind of game. So that's where like the replayability comes, because you're going to see these cards in different orders. You're going to draw different cards, discard different cards, choose different cards. You're going to have variable group victory points. We're going to have victory point, and there's double-sided. So this is the amount of group kind of in-game achievements you're kind of going for. There'll be 4 of them each game, and they're random. So there's lots, double-sided, and you'll put 4 of them out. And during the game, you're racing for them. And the first person to get the one of them will put their little leaf token beside and score like the highest victory points. So there's like a race to try to get these requirements. And again, they're different every game, right? Because there's like, I don't even know how many combinations of 4 different ones here, but we'll set that up randomly shortly. And then not only are those in-game race to score them first kind of victory points achievements, there is end game ones that are global. There's 2 of them, and there's even more of these. They're dual-sided, and you get to take a personal one. And we'll play the advanced, so we'll get to choose between 2 cards and 2 sides. So you have 4 choices on which one you're going to put on your board. And we'll do that after seeing what the global things are. And yeah, you're even racing to finish a tableau. So we're going to build a tableau in front of us, just like Everdell, you know, or kind of like building your zoo in Ark Nova. You're building a tableau in front of your own little ecosystem on your island with its own climate. And you can be scoring victory points and building engines and firing off abilities on your tableau. But the tableau is a 4 rows by 4 columns. And I'll explain how you kind of build that when we get to that action. And on there, you're getting victory points. And your setup on your island and climate are also, we'll play the advanced where we get to draw 2 and choose, but they're dual-sided. So that adds variability. And there's your climate cards in the game. You know, it's like obviously expansions will be coming that'll make these decks even larger probably. But yeah, it's that kind of thing where we're gonna like the setup is like you want to play again because there's like different goals you're trying to achieve. And yeah, it changes up the engine you might want to build, and also based on the cards you draw. And at the beginning, there is a choice based on your island card. Will give you different victory points at the end of the game, and will give you a different amount of cards you're drawing, and then the amount you're composting, which is like discarding to a personal victory point discard, and then how much resources you'll get to help you plant cards in your tableau. So on this one, for example, if I choose the other side, there's like different cards. So like there's quite a bit of choice on strategy at the beginning to choose, which can change it up. And that kind of keeps the refreshing. That's why people like replaying these games a lot, is because you know, you get a different bunch of puzzle pieces thrown in front of you. And how are you going to deal with those pieces and build the best engine you can? And again, sometimes the game throws curveballs at you mid-game and you just got to try to go with the flow and make choices, which is fun. We're going to all play together today. All right. So let's see what you guys are saying. Solo, get bonus points. Replayability. Yeah, but that's what these games, that's why people love these games that get rated high, because people buy them, they learn them, they're easy to learn, easy to teach. So it's easy to get gamers to the table, or even non-gamers, you can teach them this pretty quickly, right? And then they play it once, and it's one of those games where you get to the end and you're like, it clicks, you write your score down, you figure out your score, then you're like, no, I've now seen cards, I now understand the full length of the game. Now, how am I going to go back to setup and make some decisions to try to build a better foundation to try to start an engine again? But then when you play the second time, all the end game and current and in-game achievements all change. So then you're like, oh, spicy. Oh, I have different cards to choose from now. Oh, I have a different island, a different climate. So now you're trying to like go through it again. And it's like, that's the addiction of like, you know, all these games with the big decks that have, you know, all unique cards. So there's so many different cards you see every game, which is cool. Yeah, Edward, it is. That's what I'm saying. As soon as I started playing with our gaming group on the weekend, they were like, wow, this is like, as we're playing, it's like, oh, so these are like eggs and wingspan kind of? I'm like, yeah, so are the growth things. Like you put them on cards, you can spend them. And they started drawing similarities to wingspan. But I'm sitting there like, oh, this is actually more like Terraforming Mars, it feels like, sort of, without the board and the area control group, you know, interaction there. So you're kind of just building your own little island, not really messing with other players. So, and then you just kind of meet up at the end. You're racing other players, which is the one kind of like trying to be faster than them to get certain objectives, but that's like kind of it. And then you just add up your score at the end, based on, you know, there's quite a few things to add up victory points for. And, you know, then you just total up your final. So that's what we're kind of dealing with today. But it's like one of those simple games that's like, gets addictive. It's like not bad to set up either and clean up. So, you know, that could be kind of addictive. You can rifle out a few of these games in a session. All right. So, everyone ready? Oh, Adam says, I love this game on Board Game Arena. Going to pick up the physical copy. Nice. Is it easy to find now? Like, I know for a while it was like selling out at my local game stores really quick. And yeah, the pre-orders would go up for like the next run, and they were sold out in like minutes. But I don't know if it's easier to find now if they like printed enough copies or people are kind of like worn out on these kind of games. I don't know, but yeah, I haven't looked recently. Oh, it's dropping in price here? Oh, it says Yogi? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's get set up. So, or let's, I guess, talk about the solo aspect of it. So when you're playing multiplayer, you don't have this board. And this is a solo side of the board. Here's the regular. So it's kind of weird I'm playing solo first and not multiplayer, like the default game. Multiplayer, or solo is like a variant, but it's literally like just one page you have to read and understand for the AI. It's super straightforward. I do like it a lot. It was really easy to learn, like both aspects of the game. Multiplayer, I literally read the rule book the morning of, showed up at our friend's house to play 4-player, taught them in like minutes, and we played a full game and they were like, can we play again? And it all just worked. Like we barely had any questions. The rule book was straightforward. The iconography is right here on every player's board, which I can appreciate. So they didn't waste any space, or I guess they made the boards maybe a little bigger. But all the symbols are down here. So it was so easy. Like there's no reference card to have on the side. It's like right on the board. So people can keep their cards secret and kind of like, what does that symbol mean? And then they can kind of look down here and it kind of just makes sense. There are a couple of questions I had after, but when I found the rules online, it just made sense. Like I had like 2 questions, but even our rule on the fly was accurate based on understanding the symbols. But when you're playing the game, you're choosing between 4 actions, okay? We're planting cards in our tableau to start getting abilities, places to put sprouts, places to grow canopies or whatever, growth tokens, trunks, and canopies. Think of it kind of like the eggs in Terraform or in Wingspan, and that was not on purpose. And then also, yes, fire off abilities. Sorry, I already said that, right? Yeah, so we want to fire off abilities on cards. There's abilities at the bottom that get fired off. You go from left to right, top to bottom, through your tableau as you're building it. And when certain actions are taken, you get to fire off like green abilities, and this means you get to fire off red abilities and multicolor abilities. This one's you get to fire off like blue abilities and multicolor abilities. And then this one's yellow abilities and multicolor abilities. So what you do is you kind of like take an action, and this has kind of that mechanism. I think was in Ark Nova and Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I've seen it in other games too. Those are just the ones that come to mind, where like the active player takes the good action, and then everyone else takes kind of a crappier action, and then everyone gets to activate their cards of that color. So there's many games that do that. Those are just the 2 that come to mind in this genre, but I'm sure you guys will yell at me and say, oh, that's like this game, it's like that game. So that's how it works. So there's an active player, and you're going to use a little token, and you kind of say, I want to take the plant action. Then everyone at the table simultaneously takes everyone else takes this crappy action, and that reminds you here that the active player takes the top, and everyone else at the table takes the bottom, and then everyone at the table gets to do these all simultaneously, and then you pass the token, and the next player is the active player, and then they choose the ability to fire off. So the first one is basically planting cards, but I'll explain the ability more when we actually do it. The next one is gaining soil, and soil you need to pay the cost to plant cards. So see in the top left, that little triangle, that's the soil symbol. So you need 4 soil to plant this thing. This is a terrain card from the Earth deck, and the Earth deck has 3 types of cards in it. We have terrain cards, which have this symbol on them. They're brown. They have like types on them. So like obviously you're trying to make sets or victory points based on types on cards and things like normal. Tells you here it's a terrain card. This is the victory points you get at the end of the game if you have this planted in your tableau or your island. There's a green ability that would fire off. Okay. And then these little arrows here remind you there's a scoring thing. This brown is a scoring, end game scoring thing. And they even have the percent on there, just like Wingspan. So it tells you the little leaf symbol is victory points. So this tells me I get 3 victory points per tree looking thing. So think of it like the nests in Wingspan or whatever. You're kind of looking for these symbols on cards for every tree looking thing in this row. And these arrows remind you that you're looking for the row, and there'll be arrows pointing up and down if it's column and stuff like that. So this is end game scoring, but this is an ability that fires off every time we take this action and fire off green abilities. Okay. But yeah, I was just trying to show the soil, and maybe I'll show you some other examples of cards. Here is the flora cards. So there's that symbol, you know, based on the type of card, you might get a discount or extra scoring and stuff. There's the 3 soil I need to plant it, or 0 victory points. We'll talk more about this growth stuff in a minute, and these sprout things in a minute. But there's a yellow ability, there's a blue ability that could fire off based on those actions being taken. And then we'll go to the next ability, which is this ability is gaining sprout tokens, which are these green tokens here. They're worth a victory point each on cards at the end of the game. So there's spaces for those on cards to be placed. And yes, you can spend them, just like eggs in Wingspan. You know, I know a lot of you probably know Wingspan. If you don't, check out that game. If you're like interested in this game, you're watching this, and you're like, oh, it's kind of interested in Earth. Check out Wingspan, check out Terraforming Mars, check out Everdell, check out Ark Nova. Like, one of those games might be the better game for you based on theme and mechanics, like I said before. So I'll just keep referencing those games because I know when I'm teaching players in person and stuff, referencing a game that's like more popular helps it click in and understand sometimes for how mechanics work, if you can relate it to other things. And so does this here too. This is like a growth spot. So this is kind of a little weird. So on here, this is the cool part. This is the part that looks cool on the table. So there's these trunks, and based on the yellow action, this is the growth symbol, this little circle symbol. I can put up to 2 growth tokens on this card, or any card in my tableau, and it tells me the limit of growth tokens. Now this says 2. So when you're placing them on here, if I was trying to max this out, I put 2 on here. I can place up to 2. But the top one, if you're finishing the limit on the left, has to be a canopy. So you take one of these cool little canopy tokens here, and you just kind of plop it on top. And what this does is, now at a quick glance, when you're going to end game scoring or whatever, if you complete the growth and hit the growth limit, you'll actually take the victory points on the right. Because normally at the end of the game, you just get 1 victory point for each trunk you've placed on a card. But as soon as you complete, let me find one here. What's a good one? There's ones where it's like, yeah, this one's like a good one, example. So on this one, I could place 2 trunks, up to 2 trunks. That would get me 2 victory points. But if I could put a third growth token, which will be a canopy, then I would get 5 victory points at the end of the game instead of 1 for each trunk. So you want to complete these because they have a better point score on the right. And that's the leaf symbol. Remember, it's the victory point symbol for leaves. These little leaves here on the sprout spots are reminding me those are worth a victory point each. Even when you compost cards in the game and they go in a compost pile, which I'll explain, it reminds you they're worth a victory point each for each face down card in your compost pile. So just look for the leaf symbol. It always kind of means victory points. And that helped me understand it better when I was trying to figure the game out and understand all the little abilities and the symbols and things. But yeah. So you basically pick an ability, everyone else does a crappier one, but in the solo game, we have a little AI board over here. And the AI will go through a deck of action cards to determine randomly which action they will take. And you get to do like the crappier version of that action, like you would in a multiplayer game, because you're not the active player. And then the AI gets to do something based on, you know, sometimes what you're doing, same on here. So this is the solo side of the board. So it looks a little different. In solo, I get to do an awesome action. Then I fire off my abilities of that color going through my tableau. Then I do this on the bottom to help the AI gain some points based on what I'm doing. So the AI will react to me. So if I take, you know, this action here and gain some soil, it will gain basically more victory points or cards to its compost pile based on the more soil I'm generating on my turn. So if I'm firing off a bunch of red and multicolored abilities in my tableau or my island, that I'm getting so much soil. Yeah, I'm loaded in soil. You got to be kind of smart in this game. It's kind of like some of the AI Euro games where like you have to respect the AI and sometimes take less resources on your turn to kind of starve the AI out on victory points. You got to pay attention. Don't just do what you do in multiplayer where you'd blindly just take as many resources as possible, fire off every action, get a pile of stuff. You know, in this one, you got to be smart where you're like, maybe I don't need all that soil right now because the cards in my hand aren't that expensive, or I don't need to plant that many cards, you know. So you might want to take less soil so the AI takes less victory points, basically, just for example. And in this one, you know, you take a certain amount of sprouts. You can take up to 6. You don't have to do the full actions except for the drawing the cards, but you can take less than 5 dirt or soil here to try to starve the AI if you don't need it. you can take less than 6 sprouts if you want to, you know, starve the AI. Because this AI here will get more sprouts based on how many blue abilities you have. So if you're like trying to, you know, starve out the AI, you might want to have less blue abilities in your tableau, but then maybe you're not taking the blue action often, but the AI still will take the blue action. So maybe you want to have some abilities to benefit when that player is doing that action, right? And then here it's like the AI wants to grab growth based on the amount of cards you drew on your turn. So if you're taking the full 4 cards drawn from the deck on your turn on this action, and then you're firing off yellow and multicolored abilities that draw you lots of cards, the AI is going to gain a whole bunch of growth. And they don't even care about how many cards. Like, I might not have many cards in my tableau that can take growth tokens, right? But the AI kind of says, yeah, I don't care. I'll just put a whole bunch of growth tokens here. And you kind of follow these arrows. So it's going to place growth tokens like trunks and canopies all on here. And it gets victory points at the end of the game for that. And its sprouts just go over here. So it doesn't have its own tableau. It just kind of plops stuff down here. It has no limit. It's not like me where I might not play cards that take enough sprouts before I hit a sprout action. Then I'm kind of, my engine kind of stinks, you know, and I'm leaving victory points on the table. This guy will just pile up sprouts, pile up growth tokens, pile up a compost of cards face down that are victory points, a bunch of cards that are face up that they get the victory points off of. And this is for its deck and its active action. And for the group achievements on the fauna board, and this is the fauna board, I probably didn't say that already, but it has a couple cards here where it will just grab one of these top available spaces to score points during the game. And in the solo mode, it has this deck of cards here. And we're going to go through this deck 2 times and the game ends. So if the AI reaches 2 cycles of its deck, it will get the 7 victory points for finishing its tableau before I do. But if I race and complete my tableau of 16 cards, first I get to slap my token down here and that will signal the end of the game, whoever gets it first. So normally in a game of Earth, whoever builds their tableau first, that signifies the end of the game. Everyone else takes one more turn. And there is a first player token so that the first player, you know, you can make sure everyone has an equal amount of turns in the game. And that's how it kind of works. So we're just playing this game till either we build our 16 card tableau, then it ends, we add up score, or the AI gets through their deck twice and then we stop and add up score and see who's better, me or a random deck of cards. So hopefully that makes sense from a high level-ish. But yeah, there is how to play videos out there. Of course, it's a popular, easy to learn, easy to teach game. So of course, you probably search how to play Earth and you'll find 1,000 how to play videos. Unlike some of the other games we play on the channel, which are more complex and people don't want to take the effort to make rules videos. But I mean, I don't make any, so I understand. It's all good. I'm not, you know, but this is that kind of game where it's like, you know, easy to teach. You can like, you know, rifle it off and make a video pretty quick probably. So yeah, so if you don't like my explanation, go watch something else and you'll probably learn the game super quick. But the rules are available online. There's a PDF. It's super easy to learn this game before you even pull the trigger and buy it. And as someone was mentioning before, which I did see on BGG, people are mentioning on Board Game Arena, the website of digital board games, you can play this on there and try it out before you buy it, kind of thing. So yeah, lots of ways. So don't take my word for it if you like the game or not. Go read, watch, and play it yourself. Or watch here and you'll see today whether this is gonna be your kind of game or not. But if it isn't, we can have fun all playing together anyway. Oh yeah, what did I just do? Man, these cards. Does it bug anyone else when cards aren't facing the right way? It bugs me. So because the deck is so large, I'm not actually going to put it all in one side like this. It's crazy. So I did shuffle it a bunch. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me shuffle for 2 hours, which is what you need to do to actually make the deck random. What is happening? I put it in backwards, didn't I? I just did that. Probably you guys saw that. I must fix it all. Oh, there's... Okay, let's just do a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, and we'll just break it up. I don't know. Do a little bit of cutting. Yeah, it's super awkward. Like, I'm not going to sleeve it because, like, then I wouldn't have a card holder to even fit it all. It's crazy. Edward says, Rob is the Canadian who lets you watch it played. Well, Rodney teaches the games, but calls it watch it played. Well, remember Rodney at the start of his channel used to play the whole thing with his kids, and I remember when I used to watch him when he was first starting, right? And he used to like teach the game and then play through a whole game, right? That was his thing. And a lot of others kind of copy that format. So including me, I guess, I'm doing the same kind of thing. I kind of teach it a little quick, and then we just play through and we talk about it, look up rules, and I kind of rant and review about it while we play it, and we talk about it at the end. Kind of how we've done it. So, but yeah, I think the watch it played, yeah, it doesn't kind of fit anymore, right? If he's only doing how to play videos. But I don't know. But yeah, OCD alert. Yeah. I just like things to look proper kind of on stream. So when cards are like the wrong way, it's like, oh, it doesn't look so good. But it's like, does it really matter? Oh, why is there a card here too? All right. So let's set up. Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. Yes, that's correct. I'm just kidding. Nobody said that, but that's what I think. All right. Yeah. Quantity, not quality, that's for sure. All right, so let's set up our global cards. And for those that don't know, I'm now using AI. What I have is not Chat GPT. I use Chat RGT. And I will just ask things and then it will spit out things. So what we're gonna do for setup, instead of using like a random number generator or rolling dice, well, I guess we can roll a die to find out which side of the card we're gonna use. But to set up our 4 global kind of in-game achievements, I'm gonna count this deck here. This is like, I guess you could shuffle it under the table, but I hate when you have to like flip cards while you shuffle. It's kind of weird, right? So we'll just pick our cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right, I need 4 numbers, 4 unique numbers. Each person, Chat RGT. If you can spit out 1 number and the first 4 unique numbers that get spit out, I will choose those cards from 1 to 23. And then we will roll, for each card drawn, we'll roll odds and evens to find out which side it is. And we'll say evens is we'll flip the card. All right, so it looks like Chat RGT spit out 13, 3, 8, and 17. Okay, we'll go with those. I didn't know how to explain it, saying each person just say 1 number, but I should have just said that. Now people are sending a whole bunch of numbers. Okay, we'll go with the first 4 unique numbers I see. So 13, 3, 8, and 17. 1, 2, 3. So this card, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, perfect. That wasn't too bad. Okay, now the first card on the deck here, we'll just roll a die. Actually, here. So if it's evens, we take the back side. Odds, we just put it on the top. So we'll look at those closely in a sec. This one. Okay. 4 is flip. And flip. All right. So let's see what we got. Ooh, colorful. So one of our achievements is we're trying to get in the game before the AI grabs it if we can, or something we're working towards. How I like to play this game, I just focus on these 4 things, plus the ecosystems we'll see in a sec, and just try to score as many as I can. Whether I'm first or not, I just try to score them. That's how we're gonna work towards. So that's gonna help us decide our island and climate cards and our ecosystem cards that are personal on our board when we're choosing after we see all these. So this one says, if you get 2 or more sets of 5 cards in your tableau, including a red ability, blue ability, yellow ability, terrain, and event. Oh, maybe not in your tableau. Okay, hold on. Let's try to decipher this. I'm not seeing this one, but I know these 2 symbols down here mean also includes your climate, your island, and your climate card. So our starting cards, like when we're picking our starting cards after this, we can try to pick cards to help us start achieving this. Each on a different card. Okay. 2 or more sets of 5 cards, including. Oh, okay. So if we can get a set of 5 cards that has a red, a blue, yellow, a terrain, and I guess an event we've played in our event pile, because events don't go in your tableau. So that's what kind of threw me off, I think. So we're trying to get sets. So we're trying to have like multi things in our, we're not kind of just focus only on red abilities and go crazy. We want a little bit of everything-ish. It doesn't include green abilities here. and it doesn't care about any type of flora. So that's what we're going to try to do. That's one thing. This is a fire salamander, okay? So remind me, when we're picking cards, planting cards, all that kind of stuff, we'll try to get some variation in here. And when we're picking our starting cards. Western Moose. This says have 7+ flora. So this would be in your tableau. Flora are the green cards. Each with 2 or less growth. I'm assuming that's the tokens. Each with 2 or less growth. Okay, so that's like not taking the growth strategy, kind of keeping all our things low. I don't know about that. 40% of the cards in the game have that. Let's see. I'm just going to look at some cards, see if we can find an example here. Right here. So I'm assuming it just means this number right here, not the actual tokens on the cards. Because the symbol is 2 circles, right? So I'm trying to decipher this. I think it just is saying it has to have 2 or less number in this left little circle. I don't think it cares about the tokens on the cards at all. That's what I think. That's how I'm going to play it unless someone corrects me, but that's what I think. Again, I've not played this game that much. I don't know all the... I haven't, obviously, how do you see all the cards? It's crazy. But anyways, I wish there was a little better explanation down here instead of fun facts, but it's what we got. So supposedly 40% of the cards in the 4,000 card deck have 2 or less little growth on them. And I'll show that a bit. So that's the moose. African bush elephant. Oh yeah, and the other thing is, because these are in-game achievements, if you get to the requirement, you get to put your little leaf token out there, you know, and you get to put it on the highest numbers. So I would get 15 victory points if I achieve this one first. And then if you have a way to change your tableau or change the amount of a resource you have, you are locked in on that victory points. You don't have to worry about it after that. So if, you know, I had all those cards with those growth on them, and then some card let me blow one up to replace it or something, I'm fine, as long as I place my token before that. And you get to place your token at the end of your turn if you satisfy the requirements. So the African bush elephant, 6+ cards, each with a soil cost of 4 or higher. So this is like having a basically kind of a little bit more expensive tableau maybe. But I mean, there are some cards that have a soil cost of like 11, 12, 13 I've seen. So having 6 or higher, 49% of the cards have a 6 or higher cost. That means we've got to focus on a soil engine if we're going for this, right? So you need to have the soil to be able to plant those cards when the opportunity arises. Plus we might need a card draw engine to try to find the cards in the deck if the deck's not being nice delivering those kind of cards. So this one's a little scary. And yeah, you can get multiple achievements on the same turn. I don't think there's anything stopping because you just check them all. I don't think there's any rule with that. Not that I remember reading, but I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Then we have the spotted hyena. So this says if you have 3 or more black abilities are basically abilities that happen right when the card is played. So your setup card actually has a black ability right at the beginning of the game. You do this ability to get your cards and your starting resources. So you already start with 1. So you just need to get 2 or more in your tableau. But when those abilities are played, and this does include black abilities on event cards, this is specifically talking about cards in your island, it would tell you on the card if it was including black abilities on event cards. And you'll see event cards go in a whole different spot. And I'll show you how those, hopefully we get to play one, I'll show you how those kind of work. But yeah, so we need to find cards that have black abilities, and as soon as you plant them, they just fire off something, and then you forget about them for the rest of the game. So we're looking for those, and they're kind of rare. There's only 14% of them in the whole deck. But we start with 1, so we just need 2 in our tableau, and maybe we could get 15, or because we're playing solo, we only have 2 players, so we can get 15 or 11 points. Both are amazing. Let's try to do that, right? That seems like the easy one. But again, I've played where like I'm drawing and I'm drawing and I'm drawing, trying to find these kind of requirements. But because you're overdrawing, you're also giving victory points to the AI. So when you like over indulge on a resource and start producing more than you need, the AI is going to react to that and say, thanks for the victory points, sucker. And those cards at the end of the game don't get you any victory points unless they're in play and planted, or events and stuff that could get you victory points. But all the cards sitting in your hand kind of don't do anything in the end of the game. There are tiebreakers in the game. I don't remember what they are for multiplayer. That could be like the most soil and stuff. But I don't think in multiplayer or solo, sorry, we need to care. Valkyria says, this one has interested me. Glad you're giving it a go. Yeah, I figured. Like, I remember when I saw it, a Canadian publisher, pretty looking game. I like these engine building games. I like engine building in general. I like card games. It kind of fits. It is pretty. Definitely pretty. Definitely like that Zen feel to it. But, yeah. Can you claim victory points from a follow action? From a follow action, and if you tie with another player, do you both score the same? No. When you're claiming, there's like some rule that's like, I think it's like the active player gets it first when you're all doing your simultaneous stuff. Then it's like the player that's next to them in player order would get to place. And there is a way to break that when you're doing the simultaneous play in multiplayer. But in solo, it's like end of my turn, I'd get to place. The AI would get to place it based on their card timing, which is before that. So in solo, there's no tiebreaker reason who gets to place first or whatever. I'll explain that more when the AI goes to do their card. But in multiplayer, it's in the rule book, explains how to, you know, who gets to place it first. I don't remember what it is. When I played my 4-player game, it never came up. Nobody ever was at the same time placing something, but I'm sure it does happen in some games. But yeah. Okay, what was this? This is here. All right. So now we're going to set up our ecosystem cards, which are like end game public victory point achievements, basically. So I'll shuffle this up. So we're going to get some numbers here from chat RGT AI in a sec. We just need 2. So 1 number each, but we'll find out the range right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 1 to 32. Spam a number in the chat, dear AI. If you could please, thank you everybody for doing this to help us get set up here. It's kind of fun. 13 and 28. Okay, we got our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay. Now we're going to roll a die just to see which side on these 2 cards. So first one is staying where it is, and we'll look at it in a sec. The second one is flipping. All right. So, oh, okay. This kind of some synergies happening here. So this one says Antarctica is 9 victory points for every set of 2 black abilities, and it does include your island card, which I showed you has a setup black ability. So already halfway there to getting 9 victory points from this. And the AI doesn't score these cards. The ecosystems, they just ignore this stuff. This is a way for us to get victory points. So that works with this one where we were trying to get black abilities. So we need to find black ability cards. Yeah, if we can get 4, like 3 more, man, that's heavy victory points. That's heavy. I like it, but they're like 14%, right? It was? Yeah, 14% of the cards in this deck. Ugh. Ugh. And what's this? Valen Mountain Ecosystem. 4 victory points for every 3 cards with 2 or more habitats. This can include our starting island card and our starting climate card. And here are the different habitats. There's sun, like raindrop, mountain, and snowflake. I don't know what the real names are, but that's what I say in my head, okay? Welcome to my world. 62% of the cards in there have, I guess, 2 or more habitats on them. Some have 0. Some have 0, by the way. So yeah. So cards with multiple habitats, which kind of probably works. I bet cards with more habitats on them are more expensive to plant, which should work out with maybe with this one, right? because they'll be more expensive to plant, and maybe more expensive cards also give a way to, oh, they might have, I don't know what the balance is like. Maybe those expensive cards have more growth on them, so maybe these are working against each other. But again, you can put up to 16 cards in our tableau, and we're trying to get that fast. So the faster we can satisfy all these, and again, we only need 7+ of these cards, and only 6+ of these cards, right? So that's not even our full 16, right? So we have some to work with. So we can have some without 2 habitats, or we can have some with 2 habitats that satisfy both these objectives. So see how it's like, we got to try to satisfy as many as we can because they're just points sitting there for us to grab. The AI is going to 100% grab all of them, but whether we get to them first, we'll get the higher victory points. So that's what we're kind of doing. Okay. All right. Before we do our personal setup and give the deck another little shuffle, I just have to run for a minute. I will be right back, and then we'll work together. We'll set up our cards based on these victory conditions. We'll get some random cards, and then we'll choose, okay? So BRB. All right. Yeah, the game is very pretty. The pictures on the cards are very pretty. Yeah, it's very nice. Very picturesque game on the table. Wait till you see when our tableau is built. We have all the little tokens growing on them and stuff. It's kind of nice. Okay. Now we're gonna choose our. We'll get all our cards. We're playing the advanced setup, so I'm gonna just shuffle these, and I'll tell you guys numbers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 2 numbers, 1 through 10. And we'll get 2 cards, and then we'll get to look at both sides, and we'll choose. And we're gonna do that for each one of these. And then based on that, we'll get to we'll get our island set up. So Edgar says 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's chosen. Okay, let's do it for the climate cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also 10. Also 10. So I don't know when the numbers stopped for the other one, started for this one. So I'll just go with, let's do the next 2 numbers. So 3 and 7, 3 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you everybody for that, by the way. We're gonna do one more. So these are the ecosystem cards again, these cards, but we get personal ones and we get to choose from 2. There is a basic setup or like standard setup where you just divvy out 1 to each player and they just pick a side. So it's like get you into the game faster, great for newer players learning the game and stuff who don't really know. You don't overwhelm them with choice. But you always get to set up these cards first and kind of discuss and see what's needed. And that helps you choose here, which I like that a lot. Oh, Minion was behind a bit. Uh-oh. Yeah, just refresh. On YouTube, sometimes that happens, or you pause for a minute or you scrub and you forget. But sometimes watching at different frame rates, when it jumps, it will kind of delay a bit. So you can always just, like, if you're watching on YouTube, just refresh the app or the web page, and it'll catch you back up, or hit the live button. So you're more in sync. Okay, so what do we have left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Two numbers, 1 through 30. Oh, you just went from 2 times a few seconds ago. Should be caught up now. Nice. Okay, so we got 28. Okay. Wait, did I say 1 through 30? Yeah, 1 through. Okay, Edgar, stop with the Roman numerals. That's 24, right? So 28 and 24. So I said 30, right? So we can go 30, 29, 28, 7, 26, 25, 24, right? Okay, we got it. Now, we're not rolling a die to see which side we're choosing here. Throw these off to the side. Okay, now we get to all as a group. After knowing all what we're working towards, now we get to study these cards. So let's look at our island first. So for our island cards, so this will just sit on your board face down. It kind of tells you how many cards you're going to start with in your resources. And some of them even give you like end game conditions or ongoing abilities. So brown could be black, happen right away. Brown abilities basically either tell you it's something that'll give you an end game score or a passive ability that could reduce the cost of something or whatever. So this one says raindrop. So things with a raindrop on them that we're planting. So terrain and flora cards from the earth deck that we're planting on our island will actually cost 1 less soil. So that covers 40% of the cards we can get a discount on, okay? And it's worth 2 victory points if we take it right now. We already got 2 victory points, amazing. And we get a little snowflake. Do we care about the stuff there? Oh, this does count for the sets. But this has a brown ability, so it won't help us. Yeah, this won't help us for our sets. Well, let's check the other side. Nope, still won't help us. So this has a sun, a raindrop, 8 victory points on this one. But look, you draw way less cards. You have to get rid of 3 of them. So we're only starting with 3 cards in hand and 5 soil. But this one, look at this ongoing ability. So you get to draw a card for each event you played on that turn. Events you can play at any time, even during other players' turns. So I think that's what that means. You get to draw a replacement card for each event you played. And some events have negative victory points. A lot of them have none or 1 victory point I've seen so far. But some of them have like -4 and stuff on them. So yeah, they're usually just like a quick boost of something you need. Okay. Here's our other island card we can choose from 2 sides. This is the Volcano Island. It's a sun and a mountain, 10 victory points to start. But again, you're getting like, you only get 3 cards to start with. And these cards that are, this symbol here means compost them from your hand to your compost pile. Those 3 cards actually count as victory points also. So we technically would be at 13 victory points at the start of the game right from this card. And this one says you get 1 soil for every event you played this turn. So it's really focused on events, right? Events are only 14% of the deck also, right? So that's another rare one. I don't like taking these rare ones, especially when you're drawing less cards to start with, right? And then we have this island. So this is giving us 0 victory points. So what I feel is that this probably has like amazing stuff on it because it's giving us nothing. 12 cards. We only toss 5 of them, and that's 5 victory points right away. We get 6 soil. There's a green ability. So every time we take the green action or the AI take the green action, so anytime we take this action, that's a green ability we're firing off. Unfortunately, green abilities are not part of this set of 5 cards, so none of these help us with the sets. But this says, basically, we're going to get 1 card drawn for every terrain we plant. And terrains generally have like the ongoing abilities, endgame abilities, you know, discounts, scoring stuff, one-time abilities where they come in and just give you a ton of soil or cards or something. Man, look at the choice here, eh? Okay, so we'll leave that for a sec. Let's look at our climate cards and kind of discuss those also, because that might help us with which island card, because you're choosing all this at the same time, right? So here's our climate card, number 1 of 4, I guess. So it would give us raindrop, snowflake. Again, we don't have victory cards that care about those types really, right? Oh yeah, we do. This one, the ecosystem card, right? So for 3 cards with 2+ habitats, that can include our island and climate card. So yes, we need to think about that, right? So this one right here has 2 climates on it, or 2 habitats. Okay, and this has a blue ability that'll fire off every time we take the blue action, right? The blue action, or the AI takes a blue action, where we can spend a sprout, which is those green cubes, to gain 3 growth. So it's basically like spend a victory point to gain at least 3 victory points, assuming you have the cards to put them on. And if you're going to get something in the game on the right of a colon, you must pay the whole thing on the left, even if you don't take the full reward on the right. Okay, so that's kind of how that works in this game. Let's see the other side. Okay, also has 2 habitats. The Mediterranean Cold Summer, 4 victory points right away, has a yellow ability. And remember, we want sets of red, blue, yellow, terrain, and events, to get those going. We need at least 2 sets, right? So getting a yellow ability right to start, we're already on our way to making that set. And this says, you compost 1 card from your hand every time we fire off yellow abilities. So that goes in the compost pile and becomes a victory point. So it's a way to clean cards out of your hand that you're not going to ever use, to turn them into victory points. And we get to put a growth token on a card if we have room for it. Okay, so that's our climate 1. Let's check this one. Arid climate, 1 victory point. This has a red ability. You get to draw 2 cards if you chose the red action. So if the AI makes us do the red action, we don't get a benefit. But if we choose it, which normally the red action will get us soil and cards from the deck to our compost, which are just face down victory point cards, which you can spend. They are something in the game you can spend as a resource, but they're also victory points. So it will also allow us to draw cards on this turn, and we don't get punished for drawing cards with the AI. So that means we could take this action more often to not have to take this action to draw cards, which does benefit the AI and give them more victory points. So that's kind of a little cheeky way to sneak more cards. So if we feel like we're starting with less cards, or some of these victory points, we need to find cards like the black cards that are very rare, maybe taking card draw is the way. That's how my mind's kind of working, right? And then we have humid subtropical. So no matter which climate we take, we're getting 2 terrain types, or 2 habitats. This would be 4 victory points. As a blue ability, you must compost a card from your hand as the cost, but it turns a card from your hand into 1 victory point to get 1 sprout to place on cards that could take sprouts. Okay, so if we're going to do the blue ability a bunch, which is gaining sprouts and soil and firing off blue abilities, having blue abilities does benefit the AI more. But if that helps our engine by doing this, like, you got to do it, right? Also, what else could this help us with? I think that's it. So let's look at our endgame scoring options. So we have these 2 double-sided. So we can choose also an endgame scoring condition that would only matter to us. And in multiplayer, that's important, right? It's like your secret, it's not secret, but your own personal, like, extra victory points you can try to achieve that no one else can kind of also do, right? And just copy you. So Mebelling, I don't even know what to say. Mountain, 6 victory points for each column. And see, the arrows reminding you to, when you look at this at a glance, that it involves column placement. So it is important where in your tableau you place cards. So 6 points for each column with 4 cards, each of a different type. So the first 4 symbols there are all the different types of flora. I don't know what these all mean. There's like fungus and trees and bushes. I don't know what these all are, but they all have a name. Or terrain. That's a symbol for terrain. So with each of a different type. So we don't want synergy. And this is column only. So 4 in a row and 6 points for each. So it puts a restriction heavily on what cards we can plant and where we place them. We'll have to care about it a lot if we take this. Or 6 points per column with 4 cards, all of the same type. Okay, and sometimes types will matter for the global victory points, so you might want to grab one of these to help with that. But so far, this isn't really changing anything. It's just making it more restrictions on how we lay out our tableau. Then we got the Great Basin Desert, 3 victory points for 2 cards, 3 victory points for every 2 cards, each costing 3 or less soil to plant. So that's planting cheap cards. Ugh, that goes heavily against this, right? So if we're trying to plant 6 cards with high soil costs to race for this, we're going to be cutting our potential on victory points for the second one. So I say we don't take something that conflicts, but I mean, you could just focus on one and ignore the other if you wanted. I like to just try to satisfy as many as possible and hope as many as possible work out in the game. It may hurt me on certain victory point cards, but you know, if you barely achieve each one, you're getting good shot of victory points each. I don't know if that's a great strategy, but that's just kind of how I play. Okay. What are you guys thinking here? Let's see. Yes, this is our starting sort of garbage engine, yes. And then we're going to draw a bunch of cards, and then we'll have to make choices on the cards we draw after we choose these. Does that fire on follow or not? Oh, sorry, I'm reading this late. On the blue one. He says, I love this game. We get to hear Rob pronounce real places. Yeah, you're not going to hear me pronounce a lot. Janet, hello. Janet says, hey all, nice to see Rob play this. Excellent. Not many elephants in the mountains. Okay, yeah, okay, Edward, yeah, the theme checks out then, right? Okay, so based on what we're seeing here, I'll just pick some stuff, I guess. I don't really want to rely on the event being played. And I do want to pick one of these with 2 habitats. So this one's out, even though I like this green ability, but not really. And it does inject us with like 12 cards. We discard 5, get to choose 7. That's amazing. Yeah, I don't like this events and this choked on cards and resources. But it does have high victory points at the start. But I prefer to try to, if we're chasing down rares, I want to have the best ability to do so. Did I not flip this and see this side? I don't think I looked at all 4, right? Because this one says 5 victory points for each 2 cards, each costing 4 or more. I probably didn't flip it, did I? Yeah. I don't think I looked at the 4th option. It's like the opposite. We want this one, right? If we're going 4 plus or higher soil cards for a global objective, why not add some extra points to that, right? That's kind of obvious, I think. I don't want to do this one where we're like trying to place columns of certain types. That will restrict us heavily and frustrate me a little bit. But I do like that challenge. But I think we just go with the obvious, the synergy, I think, and we take that. So we're looking for cards in our tableau that have 4 or higher soil. Hopefully we draw into some of those and we don't have to keep digging and fueling the AI. So this one's out. Okay, now let's take a look at some of these. Okay, so all these have 2 habitats. That's great. We can get a set going with reds, blues. I think I'll be taking the red action quite a bit. If we're planting expensive cards, we're going to need lots of soil generated. So if I'm taking the red action a lot, I might want to buff up the red action. There is no, I played yesterday and I had even victory points on cards was important for sets, but that's not here today. So I kind of don't care about how many victory points a card's getting me right away. I'd rather it just fuel the potential for a higher end game victory points. So I might go for this red one, but yeah, I think I will. Yep, I think I will. Okay. And then what do we got here? This is the real doozy. I don't know. Actually, let's look at it together here. So this one, like, am I planting? I do need to plant terrain to make the 2 sets. So I'm going to minimum plant 2 terrain. but I will be taking the growth option quite a bit during the game. But if I'm not planning a lot of terrain, I won't be drawing a lot of cards, so this ability is kind of pointless. But the fact I'm getting no victory points means like we're getting some juice down here. And look at this, 12 cards to start, keep 7 and get 6 soil. That's amazing. The only problem is only 1 habitat. So it doesn't help for the what was the other one? It doesn't help for this end game scoring card where we get 4 points for every 3 cards with 2 or more habitats. So I'm going to be cheesy and I want to just not take it because of that. Now this one, we only draw 6 cards, keep 3 and get 6 soil. I don't really like it. And then we get soil for every time though we play an event. But if we don't draw into the 14% events a lot, it's like kind of lame. But this is a maybe. We do get 10 victory points right from the start. This is a maybe. Big maybe. So we have this one, 2 victory points at the start, does have 2 habitats. We get 5 cards to start with and 8 soil, and we get a discount. I think I like this one because even the discount will help us play these 4 higher cost ones, but it's cheaper and we don't get punished. We just care about the cost on the card, not what we actually paid for it. So I'm thinking this one's the play, but let me just check the other side. Yeah, see the card, this is, I can't do this. And this, yeah, no, I'm going with this one. Kyushu, yeah, it's obvious it's this one, right? I just had to work it out slowly. But there you go. And we got our starting island, all right, everybody? We got our island card, our climate set up, and our ecosystem to start building our tableau, our personal island over here. Oh yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention. So we're playing on the solo side of the board, and it has abilities across the top, which is just like when you play regular. But instead of the reference on the bottom, there is another line of abilities. Now what this is when you're playing beginner or medium, which I'm playing on medium today, like the standard game or whatever, you use the top. But if you're playing on hard or expert, you use the bottom, okay? And on some of the AI's cards, if you're playing on beginner or expert, the 2 ends, there are specific abilities at the bottom of the cards that tell you, if you're playing beginner, also do this, or if you're playing expert, also do that, to even tweak it even more. So we're going to ignore those on the cards because we're just going to play on medium, okay? We did advanced setup and we're going to play on medium difficulty AI rules, okay? If that makes sense. I'll keep this by if we need to reference anything on cards that I'm like confused by. Oh yeah, growth space, there it is. That's what that means, growth space. Okay, and then this means gain growth. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. So there are soil tokens to count the soil. There's 10s, 5s, and singles. They're cardboard. But when I play this game, I don't use them really. When I play solo, I use dice. So I'll start using them at the beginning because they come with the game. These are all wood, which are nice, but the cardboard kind of is sucky. But I like when I'm playing solo, I could just use these for soil. And then for counting green cubes, I could use these instead for the AI, which that's why I play like. But for now, I'll just play with what comes with the game, just so you see. But I definitely like playing this game with dice better, just so you know. All right, so let me just shuffle up the tops of the ginormous decks here. Okay, so now we get our starting stuff. So we get to draw 8 cards and more choices here. 8 cards, and we got to compost 3 from our hand, and the soil we're going to get is 8. So I'll take a 5 and 3 3s if I can grab them. Okay. Oh yeah, there's also an ability, which I forgot to mention here. Sorry. This ability, at any time, if it's not during this ability, I think, you can spend 3 sprouts that are on your cards in your tableau to gain 2 soil if you need. It's not the best exchange rate. It's like throwing away 3 victory points just for 2 soil. That kind of sucks. But if you just need like that little extra bump of soil to play a card to get your engine going, it's worth it. I've done it one time and it did help me out. It definitely excelled my victory points and my engine and stuff. But that is an ability. It's right here to remind you it's a thing. I also forgot to mention on the AI board, they have an ability. Anytime the AI gets to 10 soil on their thing, they don't spend soil, they just collect it. Whenever they get to 10, you discard them and they get 5 cards from the deck to their compost pile. So they basically earn 5 victory points for every 10 set of 10 soil they get. Okay, so we got to remember that when they're gaining soil, which I'll probably use dice for over here too. But yeah. How do you gain a canopy versus a sprout? So canopies are just growth tokens. These are the same, okay? These are both considered growth tokens. When you take a growth action, you place them on cards. You just first have to place trunks till you hit the final trunk limit, and the top growth piece has to be a canopy. And that is all done from the same action here, the same symbol. And the sprouts are from the cube symbol. So this is planting sprouts or whatever, and this is growth. So I think the actions are called like planting, composting, watering, and growing, which it's confusing. I feel like they don't line up very well, but I don't know. But it works. Gabriel, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Yeah, you'll see. I'll play it through. We'll show. We'll go through a few turns and it'll all click. You'll be like, oh, I get it. And you'll leave. It's fine. It'll make sense. Oh yeah, let's take this back. So these are little tokens to signify what we've grabbed over here. AI has some also. Okay, so let's get our 8 cards, right? We got our soil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have to choose 5 to keep, and we're going to compost the rest to our face down victory point pile here. All right. So this card, look at this busy little card, okay? This is the common onion, okay? It costs 3 soil to plant it. When it's planted at the end of the game, we'll count it up. It'll give us at least 2 victory points. Has 2 habitats. It's whatever this type of flora is, whatever that symbol means. It can take up to 6 sprout tokens. It can take 1 growth token. So if I place a growth token on here, here's my question. Class, are you ready? If I place a growth token on this, which token am I grabbing? A trunk or a canopy? Okay, trunk or a canopy, everybody. Which token am I placing on here when I gain a growth? Oh, it's bush? It is bush for real? I said that earlier and I was just joking. I didn't think it was a bush. Or shrub? Oh, is that what it is? David says canopy, Mr. Rob. Okay, all right. Anyone else have any answers? I want to see. You back there? Hey, get off your phone. I'm asking a question. Yeah, I see you. Yogi says canopy. Correct. Canopy. So it doesn't matter which color. They're just different colors like the eggs in Wingspan because it looks prettier to have multiple colors on the table. There's no gameplay for it yet. I'm sure there will be in an expansion maybe. So yes, because when you play the final token on there, it's always a canopy. So it will get me, as soon as I place 1 on here, it will get me 2 victory points at the end of the game if it's still there. And I can spend it off of here to do things in the game. It's still just a growth token. These are both growth tokens, but it's only when you're placing the final limit one, you place a canopy. And then at the end of the game, it's just, you can see all the canopies, you just add up the right points, and all the ones that aren't finished, you just add up all the trunks, and they're worth a victory point each. Okay? It's a little weird, but it makes sense. Like once you understand it, it's not too bad. But yeah. And then on the bottom, this is a multi-ability card. So every time we do the yellow action or the AI does the yellow action, we get to fire off this if we want. It's optional. Or we can fire off this on red actions, okay? And we haven't seen multicolor yet, but they literally have the stripes on them just like this, and they fire anytime you do one of these abilities. And they count for scoring at the end. So if you're counting sets, the multicolor will count as sets of all the colors, but not each one. It's a separate card, but it will help us. So I think if we have a multicolor card, we can use like the blue on it if we need a blue for the set, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's one card. Here's another multi-ability. Again, we're looking for 4 or higher soil. Okay, we're looking for 4 or higher soil based on our cards. And again, I'm choosing to play this way. You can choose to try to make a little perfect engine here. I'm just being greedy, trying to go for points over here as fast as possible. But it's up to you how you want to play it. That's just what's going to drive me. I'm new to the game. The rules does say when you're kind of starting out, just focus on trying to achieve this stuff over here. At least try that, and you should get some decent points. But obviously, as you play this game more and more, you're going to kind of know what the odds are of things and where to place things and create little engines as you're firing things off. Super satisfying once you get like you're firing a bunch of things off. Reminds me of Everdell. Okay, so again, we're looking for higher victory points. We're looking for 2 habitats. We're looking for sets of different color abilities. So this will help us out with sets because this could count as a yellow or a red if we're trying to make sets. So I like this. But I don't like it for the 3 or higher. So that's one. This one only has 1 habitat. It's a cheap card, but does have 2 abilities. Can help us with growth. And it can even take a bunch of growth. And if we complete the growth with a canopy, it'll be worth 4 victory points at the end. 1 victory point at the end of the game just for having the card in our tableau. Not a fan. Not with what we're trying to achieve, I don't think. This one only costs 3. Okay, the game's trolling me. It has 2 habitats. You can place some sprouts, place some growth. And it has a yellow ability where we can spend a growth token from a card to gain 3 soil, which might be good for generating soil on the yellow ability. So we have a card here that generates us cards when we take a non-card drawing ability. If we take this, we can generate soil on a card drawn growth ability that doesn't normally generate you soil. A lot of flexibility, I think. That card I like in the maybe pile to keep, but these ones I don't think so. But again, the problem is we might find a victory point card mid-game, a terrain card, that says we can get a whole bunch of points from having mushrooms in a row or column or whatever adjacent. And if we keep throwing away all the cards with mushrooms because they don't have the other requirements, it might make it harder later. So that's the kind of thing that happens sometimes, which is fun. All right. Another cheap card, because we can't find 4 costs or higher. A blue ability where we could, this is where you spend composted cards. So those cards that you put face down on your personal board that cost 1 or gain you 1 victory point at the end of the game, you can actually spend from there also, just like you can spend sprouts or growth tokens. All your stuff are resources. All the things are resources. I don't know, man. Okay, I need some card draw abilities because these cards are not 4 or higher victory points, and we maybe screwed ourselves. This compost cards from hand, spend compost cards to gain dirt. Oh, Serenity now. All right. This one, for every time a blue fires off, you get +3 sprout tokens on any of the 8 adjacent flora. So you want to put cards with these sprout squares on them adjacent to this card. And adjacency in this game is diagonal or orthogonal. That's why these little arrows are pointing all of the ways to remind you it cares about cards in all of those directions. Oh, finally, we got an expensive card. Look at this. So this is a black ability. We actually really wanted black abilities. This one, when we play it, we'll get 10+ growth. The only problem is we need to have cards out there that can take growth tokens, or this is a big fail. Because this card doesn't generate us anything ongoing. So this is the card we'll literally be holding on to for like more than half the game. So this kind of sucks to see early. It's not even a card we can play really, because we'll just lose. But we're keeping it. And another cheap card. Oh my god. I mean, we can get some of these cards that are cheap down in early to help kind of generate stuff and help with our sets. So now that we know we have that black ability card, I need to look at ones here that can take a lot of growth. Like this one, for example. I think I want this card just because it can take a lot of growth and has 2 abilities, but the problem is it doesn't have 2 habitats. Where's that other one? This one I might take. I'll probably take this one, right? Because it has 2 habitats. It can take some growth. I don't know. Oh man, this is rough. Or maybe I'd take this one. Maybe I'd take this one. Only costs 2 to plant. Has 2 habitats. Can take 3 growth. Yeah, maybe I'd take these ones with growth. And just we pick which ones to play. Yeah. They're going to take up spots. That means less. But look at the sets. If we get these down, we have blue, red, and yellow. And then we need a terrain and an event. So we have no event cards. So that's going to be the hard thing to get there. But if we can make sets of colors, which we already have a red, if we plant a yellow and a blue and a terrain, we just need an event card. We have one of those sets. So that's going to be a hard one to do, I think. Yeah, I love how we got like 1 card only that's 4 or more soil. Oh, stupid game. Let's not take that one. Yeah. No. I do like this one. This one. Okay, I'm composting these three. Right here. So we have 3 victory points here, 2 here, 1 here. We're already on our way to winning. Look at that. You have a terrain on your starting cards top left. In these cards I do, Janet, have a terrain card, but again, I'm not playing this till later in the game, so maybe I don't have room for it later, we'll see. But I need to draw cards because this is not going to work for me. This is not. I have 2 cards I'm trying to achieve expensive cards and just roll in the dough, and I don't even have cards to play. Not even 1 to play on an opening turn. Because I can't play this right now. I will just not have anywhere to put these. So that'll be the biggest waste of 8 soil ever. Not happening. So I'm in trouble. So because I'm in trouble, I think I just go for the card draw option, yeah? I don't really need soil right now. I don't want to plant yet. I think I just have to go yellow. Brown on the weather card. Is that combo? I don't know what you mean by that. Like this brown on the weather card reduces cost by 1 soil. So yes, it would help me on this card, for example, only cost 7. It helps me on this card, only cost 2. But I don't know what you mean by comboing. But you're saying if I have another one that reduces cost? Yes. Yes, it would all add up. There are other ones I can put out here that reduce the cost of, like, you know, snowflakes. So if I have a raindrop and a snowflake, I can reduce the cost of this by, you know, whatever. If that's what you mean, I think, Yogi, right? Okay. But again, I can plant some of these to get an engine going of some sort. Or at least have something when I fire off an ability. I could take this action. It does allow me to grab 4 cards, pick 1, and the AI gets the rest and gets all the victory points on them. That's not the way I really want to do it right now. So Yogi says the green card with the red draw action. Don't have one. Green card with the red draw action. I'm wondering if you're going to prioritize draw. Does that green card plan to give the draw action? There is no hand limit. No hand limit in the game, which is great. But again, we're playing against AI that gets basically victory points for the more cards we draw during certain actions. This is not draw a card. This is actually compost a card from hand. So this gets rid of cards from hand. I don't have any draw effects here. I have a draw effect here. That's it. So let's just go with drawing 4 cards and hope we get something to work with. The only problem is we have nowhere to place growth. So maybe we just go with this option. Let's just plant 2 of these cards. Maybe we do that. I don't know. Because then when we take the yellow action, maybe we can have something fire off there. Yeah, let's just take this action. Let's see here. And again, we're trying sets of colors. So it's not going to be one of these 2. I'm going to place up to 2 cards. Again, I'm not a pro with this game. We're just going to do our best. I'm just here to show you how it kind of works. Not the best way to play it for the most points. That is not what I'm here to do. But we'll try. Okay. I think I want to try a little growth engine thing here, where like this card fires off first, gives me a growth token, then this card would fire off right after and spend a growth token to get 3 soil. And they both technically have spots to put growth tokens. They're just not very ample, but they do have plenty of spots for sprouts. So if I were to place like this card adjacent to them, this one could start slapping sprout tokens all over them, which would be great. So I'm going to just do this. Might be kind of boring, but I'm just going to place 1 at a time. I'm going to plant this card. It's a raindrop, so it's -1 soil thanks to this ability. So it costs me 2 soil. Okay. And if it had a discount on it, the second card I play would apply to the second card because you plant them 1 at a time. Then, yeah, I think I'm going to just do this right after. This is a raindrop. Again, so I didn't talk about this yet. When you place stuff in your tableau, literally the first card, I can put anywhere in one of the 16 spots, anywhere I want. Okay, I can put it right in the middle. I can put it as the last card. I can put it in the bottom row. You like, obviously you play this game more and more and more, you're gonna like understand where to put things specifically based on what could happen, right? But me, I just know I need to put this card before this card, so that way I'm gaining growth that I could then spend when yellow actions fire off. But then I got to think about the red ability and where that could be. And I got to think about potential cards I could plant around them, right? So I could, once you plant the first card, so I could put this card in the bottom row, any cards from there on forward just have to be adjacent. And remember, adjacency in this game is orthogonal or diagonal. So I could put this card here, the second card I plant, I could put it here, or I could put it here. Or if the first card was in the first, let's say second row, 3 cards in, you know, I could plant this card here, 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 anywhere around this card, right? And then so if my third card comes in, I could plant it here, for example, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here. Just remember, I'm limited to 4 rows and 4 columns. It's just like imaginary fenced in border, okay? Think of it like that. Okay, so we spent for our first one. It was this one. I'm just gonna do it in the top row. I know it's probably not smart, but I'm just gonna put in the top row and put them in order, because when you fire off abilities, it's from left to right, top to bottom. I don't know, that's the way I'm doing it. Okay, then the next one we get a discount on. So 2 more soil and plow. Then we take the second action here, which is mandatory in solo. I think it's mandatory all the time, but I didn't have to plant 2 cards there. You can optionally plant 0, 2, 1 or 2, up to 2. But this action I have to do, and I'm going to draw 4 cards from the deck, and then I keep 1 and put the rest in a public discard pile, not in my compost. It doesn't have that compost from hand or deck symbol, okay? So this will help us kind of dig. Oh, look. So now when you're playing solo, normally when we're playing multiplayer, I would just grab whatever one of these cards works good for our engine, right? But in solo, you got to play a little differently. Is any of the cards I don't take, they go into this face-up pile and are counted raw victory points at the end of the game. And this event card right here, this is an event card we haven't seen yet. This is the 3rd type of card of 3 that you find in the Earth deck. When you play an event card, it goes to your event pile face up. At the end of the game, we count these points, and they can be negative, and we add them to our score. That's a separate score line on the sheet. Okay? It's the second score line here, okay? But when I choose my card in solo, it even tells me here, your 3 discarded cards have to be added to the face-up pile for the AI. And they just add up these points on the cards, and they ignore negatives. They're actually positives. So if I keep this card, the AI now 100% has 2, 3, 4 victory points I'm giving them for the end of the game. So again, in multiplayer, I don't care. This all goes to a face down discard pile. I don't care, okay? I'm not giving anyone at the table any points based on what card I'm taking. So I take what's best for me. But in this game, when you're playing against a solo, you play a little different. I might take literally the card that has the most victory points, even if I'm never gonna play it, just because I don't want the AI to have it, okay? If I can't plant it, nobody can, you know? So yeah, we might do that. Okay. So I'm obviously, I think, just going to take this based on a quick glance, because I am looking for cards that are 4 soil or higher, right? So I'm going to take this, but I am giving the AI 5 victory points. So that is sucky, right? Let's just take a quick look at them. This one, I could spend a growth to get 2 cards, but then I lose a victory point at the end of the game. Not worth it, I don't think. But I do need card draw very bad. And this black ability is on event cards, so it doesn't count for the black abilities on these cards unless it said event cards also. Cards in my event pile don't count the same as cards in my tableau for scoring, okay? They're a separate thing. And that's why they have a separate spot. So I'm going to do it just because I'm desperate. I'm going to... Yeah, these only have single habitats too, so I'm going to just put those here. And this card I'm taking to hand. Then we fire off green abilities. I look on here. So how firing abilities works, there's a little timing rule to it. It's optional which abilities you fire off. So if I had a bunch of green abilities in my tableau, I go from left to right, top to bottom. As I get to each one, if I found a green ability, I could fire it off or not and move to the next one. I can't go backwards, can't redo one after. Has to be in the order. That's why placement on your planting matters. But I could have green abilities on here, or the abilities that are on my climate and my island card. You can choose to fire those off before firing off all these abilities or after. And you can't do one ability, fire off all these, and do the other ability. You have to choose before to fire them off, or after to fire them off, or not fire them off at all. Okay? They can't be fired off in the middle of firing off your island tableau here. So that's only like restriction over here. So this red ability, I could take this action of the red, and when I'm firing off abilities, I could draw these cards before doing all this stuff, or I could draw it after, or not at all. Hopefully that makes sense. Hey, Heather. Janet says, you can shift the cards later, right or down, if you have a card you want to be... Yes. Yes. That is true. So these cards that I'm placing right here, yes, Janet is correct. I could shift these down at any time and start putting cards above them, as long as I'm within my 4x4 grid. But just because on stream, I'm going to like kind of keep them there, unless you guys think I should shift them. But just for my sanity, I'm going to put them up here instead of just putting them like in the middle here. But I could do, and I could just start building out to the right and sliding them to the left as I put cards beside them. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. Abso-freaking-lutely. But again, my brain's going to be melted probably halfway through this playthrough, so I am just going to try to have some, follow some kind of form. But yes, I will try to keep that in mind, and yell at me if you're like, Rob, shift these to the side. That card should be before them. You tell me, like, don't be afraid. Yell at me, and we'll discuss. I'm all down for some backseat gaming. It's all good. We'll play together. Okay. So we drew. Now we do green abilities. We have none, and we already did the part for the AI. We gave them their cards. Done. Now we find out the AI's first action. I'm pretty sure I shuffled these. But we'll shuffle their action cards up. Yogi says, pretty sure Candyland Legacy is more of a brain burn in this. I don't know if you're joking, Yogi, but to be honest, keeping track of this, these, and which ability you're going to do, what the AI could play, how many points they have in their face up, how many points they have in their face down, how many points they have here, how many cards you need to draw, what soil you have, how many of your 37 cards you have in the hand by mid-game, which ones you're going to play in which order. There is a lot to keep track of in this game. I was very surprised how crazy it got by how many things I was tracking, especially in multiplayer, when I was trying to track the other players at them racing for specific things and knowing which things to kind of give up on based on what other player areas had certain things going on. So this game is super light. You might think it's a joke because of the small rulebook, but I was being serious. Like, it's super easy to learn. But there's a lot going on. And I know if you play lots of Terraforming Mars or Wingspan, maybe this is kind of a joke, but my brain was cooking, but it might be because I'm new to the game and I don't know what the possibilities are. But there's a lot to keep track of if you're trying to min-max the solo AI, for sure. There's a lot going on. So yes, my brain will be mush trying to explain the game, play it correctly, and keep track of all the victory points I'm trying to achieve during the game and after the game, and what's in my hand, and how many composts I have, and my resources. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot. So joking that it's like Candyland is kind of not fair, I think. It's deceivingly brain cooking, in my opinion. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know Race for the Galaxy, I guess, either. But yeah, I guess once you know the cards, maybe. But that's like 400 cards to learn of all the cards in the game. I think it's like 400-ish. It's kind of nuts, actually. Which is, I think, more than all those other games, right? Because I feel like none of them had decks that were like, maybe they were like close to this. Janet, thank you for the super chat. Says, chat, Rob just gave us permission to yell at him. LOL. Oh yeah, you guys always have permission to yell at me. All the time. All the time. Scream at me if you notice something out of whack. The beauty of live streaming. You can point out my mistakes as we go. Thank you for the super chat, Janet. Much appreciated. Oh, Terraforming Mars got bigger with expansions, right? Yeah, of course. But I think Terraforming Mars deck at the start fit in here. I didn't need to use the second side, I'm pretty sure, but I might be misremembering. I feel like Arc Nova maybe is this crazy, but I feel like Wingspan, they do it different, right? Because it's like, they already break it up into like those 3 wells, right? So it's deceiving that it's like that many options. It's just this game doesn't come with card storage, right? I have to use my own like little storage here. So it even says in the rulebook, like put them in multiple piles because they're so big. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see what the AI is doing. The AI's first action, they're taking the red action. So we get to do an action first in solo here. So we can either choose to take 2 soil or compost 2 cards from the main deck. Then we get to activate all our red and multicolored abilities from left to right, all that business I said before. Then the AI just gets to compost basically 8 victory points from the top of the deck, and they get 1 soil plus 1 soil. No, sorry, they get 1 soil for each soil I gained on this turn. So if I choose not to take soil up here and take compost, and my red abilities and multicolored abilities don't generate me soil, or I choose not to fire them off, I can starve the AI, but they're still getting 8 victory points. So it's like, I kind of just need to go with it, right? Again, I want soil to help play more expensive cards. So at this point, I'm going for the soil. I don't really need the cards in my compost right now, I don't think. And you put the active card here on the right just to go through it. So I'm going to take 2 soil. That's 6. Now I activate red abilities. So I didn't choose the red action, so I don't get to draw cards off this. I don't have any growth to spend, so I can't generate any sprouts. So my red abilities fall flat, which is normal at the start of the game. You don't have much going on. And then now the AI is going to gain 8 cards to its compost. And I did gain 2 soil, so it will gain also 2 soil. Okay. And that's it. That's it. Nice and quick. Okay, back to us. Now, at first, when you're playing multiplayer, there's a spot to put like your token to remind you what action's happening on the turn, because only the active player has one of these tokens, and you pass it around. But there is no limit. You're allowed to take the same action. Literally, I can take this action till the end of the game. I could just say every turn, I'm doing this action. I'm doing this action. I'm doing this action. Obviously, sometimes I'm not going to have soil to plant anything, so it's going to be stupid to take that action because I'm gaining basically only a card from it, and I'm giving the AI victory points. But yes, you can take the same action as you took last time. This token is just here to remind you what you're doing, and everyone else at the table to remind you what action you're taking. But there's nothing stopping you from taking the same action again. So what action should we take? To plant next, I need at least 5 soil, but I need maybe 2 more with this raindrop card. So 7-ish soil, I only have 6. So I could take this soil action. I do need to find more cards still. I can take the sprouting action to gain soil, and the sprouts will go on these cards. I have plenty of spots to put sprouts. If I take the red action, I can draw some cards here. Maybe I just do that, take that action. Oh, I don't have growth for this yet. Yeah, maybe do the yellow. Yellow will get me cards, get me growth, and get me soil. Oh, did I put these backwards? I put them backwards. After all that I said, I put them in the wrong order. After we were switching them all around. All right, anyways. Woo. Okay, so let's take the yellow. We're going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, buddy. There they come. There they come. Oh, and some of them even have 2 habitats. Oh, man, look at this one. You just had to put 2 growth on it. You get 6 victory points. That's what happens on expensive cards, right? You get like the potential. Oh, it even gives us 6 or 7 victory points back right away. That's crazy. Keep. We're keeping all of them, actually, because we don't have to throw any of these ones away, which is great. Oh, see, now here's where maybe we change the way we're building stuff. So this one says you get 1 growth on each of the bushes or whatever in this column, which includes this one. So I have a bush in my tableau here. So if I put this here or like slide this down or over, whatever, I could automatically, every time yellow fires off, I could start adding growth to each card. Kind of neat. But again, this is not a 4 cost or higher. So yeah. Okay. Now I get to place 2 growth. So we know I can put just a canopy on this first one and technically a canopy on the second one. Done. And I put too many of these in the bin. So they're all going to fall out. All right, so that's done. Now I fire off yellow or multicolor abilities. Don't have any multicolor. Still don't have any to show you. I thought we'd draw into one at some point, but I think they're pretty rare. Okay, so yellow. I have none here. I'm going to do this one. Gains me a growth, but I have nowhere to put it. And then I can spend a growth. So I can't fire this one off. It's a waste for now. And then I'll just spend a growth to gain 3 dirt. Let's take a 5. 2 back. And that's it for yellow abilities. Now, this guy is going to get growth based on all the cards I drew on the turn, which was 4. I guess I probably could have drew cards one at a time. That's probably a thing. I don't know if you need to choose before you start drawing, or you just draw 1 card at a time and stop when you want for the solo, because the solo is going to gain 4 victory points from us. So we follow the arrow here, and it says I can put 5 in the first space. So because I drew 4 cards, right, it's going to get 4 trunks. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now it's got its fauna card. So it says choose either lower fauna objective, so the 2 bottom ones on the board, and place a leaf token. And Gaia is the name of the AI, or if that's how you say that, I don't know. So we take one of their points and we pick one of these till they take them. So I mean, this one I'm actually doing, but the black abilities, maybe that's going to be the harder one to get first. So you want to put it on the one you're not going to grab first, right? I only have 1 black ability card. I'm probably not going to get this one for a long time. Maybe this one first. I don't know. But who knows what I draw, right? Yeah, I'll just put it here. I don't know. So they automatically just got 15 victory points at the end of the game, these jerks. Now the most I can get for this one is 11. I want to see the other green with the red ability. Other green with the red ability. I don't know which one, Yogi. There's my red abilities in hand that I have. So this one is compost 3 cards from hand. This one is spend 2 growth to gain 4 dirt. This one is compost 2 cards from hand. And this one is draw 2 cards if you choose the red action. This one is spend a growth token off of a card to gain 2 sprouts on cards. Okay. Where were we? They did that action. Back to us. Do we plant? I need to get cards in that can hold growth. Okay, how much dirt do I have? I have 9 dirt. 9 dirt. These are discounted. I can definitely play those. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. I'm going to take the green action. And I'm going to plant. Blue gets me dirt, which I can spend, so that doesn't matter. This growth one. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. So I'm going to plant this first one. It's got raindrops, so I get a discount. So it's going to cost me 5. And then I'll just plant this one like after this. I don't know. Just for fun. Well, maybe I'll plant this here. No, maybe that's restricting me. I don't know. I'll plant those like that. And this one cost me 3 because it's a raindrop and it's discounted by this ability. So I have 1 dirt remaining. Now I'm going to draw 4 cards, choose 1 to keep, and give the AI the rest. So here's an event, a geyser. I can play this at any time. It gives me no victory points at the end of the game, but I can spend 2 cards from my compost pile to draw 2 cards. I kind of like that. But the problem is I'm going to be giving the AI freaking 9 victory points if I took that card. So in multiplayer, I might grab that, but in this mode, I'm like kind of thinking I need to grab one of these 4s. Now let's look at the 4s. Let's just look at these 2 4s, ignore the other 2 cards. Let's see. So we only have 1 other terrain. So this would help us with terrain. It does have a green ability, which every time we take the green action, we would gain a growth. That's kind of good. It also has an end game victory point thing. So we get 3 victory points for every tree flora in the column. I have 1 tree here. So if I put this in the same column and I make sure I plant trees in this column, that's another way to score victory points at the end of the game. It also helps with my set of terrain that I'm trying to make a set on this card of a terrain, event, red, blue, and yellow. And I'm not taking events, so that's going to be tough. If I keep saying no to every event, I'm going to have trouble making those sets. Because right now I actually have a set of red, blue, and yellow, a terrain, you know, if I put a terrain out, and then an event card, I have one of the 2 sets I need to get that, you know, 15 victory points or whatever. So, but I don't want to give the AI freaking 4 victory points. And then this one is 4 costs or higher, but only has 1 habitat. 4 victory points, has only 1 place to put growth, but does add sprouts to mushroom, whatever, fungus locations in the row. So I could put it here in this row, and it would start putting 1 sprout on each of these locations every time blue abilities fire off. You see how like the engines can get going, and based on placement, it really matters, which is another thing to think of that makes my brain hurt, of like trying to plan ahead with so much unknown information. Yeah, it's definitely fun. I think I'm going to take this mountain forest. Maybe. No, maybe not. It does have 2 habitats though. And we need, for every 3 cards with 2 habitats, we'll get 4 victory points. It does have a green ability too, which I'm literally getting no bonus abilities every time we fire green. But this also has a raindrop, so it's discounted. You think a mountain because we have a bunch of rain? I don't have any victory points. The only one I have that care about terrain, Yogi, is this one. And it's cards with 2 or more habitats on them. So I want ones that have, you know, 2 habitats up in the top row. But again, if one of them is rain, I also have a discount based on rain. But there are victory point ones that I played with before that care about having, you know, different ones beside each other or in columns or rows or adjacent and stuff. But that's not what we're playing with today. So it's definitely a different vibe. And I'm like, have to think a different way than my last 2 games I played. Because this is like, I don't even think I saw any of those times I played. So I'm already looking for different things and trying to line up different things and still build an engine here. Which is crazy. I think it's fun. All right. I think I'll take this terrain card. And then that means I'm giving 5 victory points to the AI. Yep. Okay. Now I fire off green abilities, which I have none. And then I already gave them my cards. Let's see what the AI is doing. They're doing the green, which is plant. So I get to plant 1 card, which sucks that I have no soil. This is kind of crappy. So I might not be able to plant. We'll see. And then I get to draw a card and then activate my green abilities, which I have none. And then the AI just gets to take 3 cards off the top of the deck and put them in their face-up victory point pile. Basically just like I did a second ago. So planting, I can plant this free one. I don't have any 1-cost raindrops. But I should have not have let myself get down to so little soil because it left me open to get screwed like this. But I could plant this one. It does have a nice juicy area for growth. So I could put this in there. It has 2 habitats. It's just not a 4 cost or higher. But I only need 6 with 4 cost or higher. But this one, I get 5 points for every set of 2. So I'll just keep trying, I guess. I do have bushes in a column here. So this could help put growth on this column every time yellow fires off. Maybe I want to do this a little earlier. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. Or I could do it like, no, I can't do it like that. Trying to think. No, I'll just keep it the way it was. Trying to think like of putting it before these, but then it won't be in the column, but I could make a different column. Yeah, I'll just put it like this. It's fine. It's fine. So now we have a column of these going, and I planted it for 0. I don't know. All right, we'll go with that. We also get to draw a card. Ooh, look at this terrain. 4 types on it, 0 victory points. Only costs 1 to plant, 0 to plant actually, because it's got a raindrop. But it'll let me compost 2 cards from my hand on green abilities. And this says skip. What's this mean? Skip 1 plant to compost this card and replace it with a red ability card at no cost, and then draw 2 cards. So this is like basically a terrain that will change later in the game. So it's like locking down a slot. And then when I do a plant, I could have skipped this plant ability to blow it up, the lava, the volcano erupts and then changes the location. So we've seen this in like Everdell, right? It's like that kind of thing where you put it in your tableau, but it's not like locked in. You can get rid of it. That's kind of cool, right? Yeah, whatever. I don't have to do it either. I could just leave it sitting there, but yeah, we could cheat in an 8 cost card, right? Oh, money. Or yeah, that's it really right now. Okay. And activate green abilities. I have none. And the AI is just going to draw 3 cards from the top. Oh my God. It just got 10 victory points. That's effing gross. That's right. I said it. Effing. Hey, Kanji. Okay. Now, our turn. I think I need dirt. We shall take the dirt action, I feel like. Yeah, let's just take the dirt action. I mean the composting action. And let's gain 5 soil. But I'm going to switch to using dice because I hate these tokens. They're lame. So I threw away 1. So we're going to have 6. Okay. 6 dirt. We compost 2 cards from the top of the deck. We fire off red and multicolored abilities. I chose a reaction, so I get to draw 2 cards. Oh, we got an event. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. It's not a negative victory point 1. We need it for our sets. Okay. Then this one I can spend a growth to gain 2 sprouts. I can put them on any cards. I'll just put them on this first one, whatever. Then I go down here. I could spend 2 growth. Man, I really need to take the growth action. What was I doing? Spend 2 growth to gain 4 dirt. Well, it's fine. It's fine. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing this right, but we're having fun. Okay. So then the AI says it wants to compost 2 cards off the deck and then compost 1 for every 2 dirt I took. But I didn't generate dirt on this card this time, but I did generate 5 dirt here. So it's going to get 2 more cards off the deck for composting. Okay. Now this guy will go. So it's the water action. So I can gain 2 sprouts or 2 dirt. Then I activate blue and multicolor abilities. Then it gains 7 sprouts and 1 sprout for every blue ability I have. I'm going to go with the dirt. Okay. And then blue abilities. I have this one where I can spend 2 dirt to get 4 sprouts, which probably is not the play, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so that's technically 7 victory points sitting on that card right there, but it's also a resource I could spend to do other things. Who knows? Okay, then the AI is going to gain 7 cubes plus 1 for my blue ability here. So it's going to have 8 green cubes. And again, I'd be putting these green cubes in these spaces, but it's fiddly, messy, clean up, no thanks. But I just want to show that these are a thing. Okay, so you'd be putting these like 1 by 1 in these little things, but I have big hands and I don't want to be playing with little cubes on little squares. Is not dual layer cardboard. Okay, we're playing with flat, you know, Terraforming Mars garbage here. So I'm just going to put dice, and it's easier to count at the end of the game. We're fine. Okay, even though you could just count in stacks of 5, 10, 15, whatever. It's just, I mean, it's cute and all, but they could have just included a couple dice or a counter. You know, they could have made this whole AI board a bunch of dials that you just count on, which would have been nice, but they didn't. So, oh well. Okay. Anyways, all about table presence, right? Sell copies at the conventions. It's got to look pretty and complicated. Okay. All right. Yogi says, I think Gaia is the wrong name for the AI. It should be Dirtbag. Yep. That makes sense. Big old bag of compost. All right. Now what are we doing ability-wise? Planting? Should we plant? Oh, yeah. Guys, I forgot. I should have played this to gain me an extra growth that I could have, instead of spending the growth on this, I could have grown on this and got more dirt. But then the more dirt would have led to them getting more cards. So whatever. But I will play this event right now. And I'll gain a sprout. And I'll gain a growth. Okay. Yeah. So now we have 1 event in there. Okay. I think I'm going to take the growth ability again. Do I have 10 places to put growth tokens yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Technically, I could play this now. Yes, yes. All right. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one. Maybe this is the one. So we only have 6 dirt. Okay, I can play this for 4 dirt. And then I could play... No, I need more dirt. But I shouldn't take the red action. I should take the yellow action. And I can turn the yellow into dirt. I'm going to take the yellow action. And I'm going to draw 4 cards. Take them right to hand. Okay, we got 2 more cards for our higher. Oh, another black ability. Another black ability. Okay, we might put that in there. Okay. And then we get 2 growth. Sure. Okay. 2 growth. And then we fire off yellow abilities. So we get another growth here. Here we can spend a growth to gain 3 dirt. Here we can get 1 growth on each bush in this column. Man. Messy, messy, messy. All right. Growth and a growth. And that's my yellow abilities. Now this guy gets a growth for every card I drew this turn, which was 4 cards. So 4 more growth. So it'll complete this first one, which I'm just going to replace with this. So this is 1. And the next one's 4. So it's just going to get 3 of these on it. Normally, I think you'd pile these up and just keep popping canopies. But you can see how it gets a little crazy and it's very messy and I'm going to knock them all over. So I just like to, when it completes, I just drop a canopy there and take away all the trunks. And we just use the trunks on the last column, right? And then it even reminds you here on the left side, which is sweet. At the end of the game, if this row is completed, you just know it's automatically 25 victory points. You don't need to add up like all these little spots, which is sweet. Only the last one that's like not completed. But you just follow the arrows here and fill these in as you go. And then go like this. Okay. All right. And that was that. AI. AI wants to take the same action, growth. So I can take 2 growth or draw 2 cards. Then I get to activate my yellow multicolor abilities. Then the AI gets 7 growth and extra growth for all the cards I drew this turn. I don't think I need cards right now. I think I actually need growth. But maybe that's silly. I mean, if I can find one more black ability. Oh no, I have 2 black abilities. So I can get these points already. What was the other thing? Oh, it's sets of black abilities. If I can find one more black ability, that's like 18 points I could get. But I'll draw cards other ways too, right? So, no, let's not give them points. Let's just take the growth. So this is the 3rd token we're putting on here, which is the max it can have. So now that's a full canopy there. And then, oh, but maybe let's not put it on that one, because that one gets them automatically, right? So let's just put 2 on here. Yeah, because we'll get, this ability will add them on there automatically, right? Okay. And then my yellow abilities. Here, I get a growth. Stay on there. Then here I can spend a growth. Actually, let's spend the growth off the one that automatically gets them. And that will get me 3 dirt. This one puts growth on the 2 in this column. That's all my yellow multicolor abilities. And this guy gains 7 more growth plus nothing else because I didn't take any more cards. So this first column can take 1 more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it just completed the first row. I hate you, AI, you dirtbag. All right, so it just got 25 victory points right here, and I'm like over here. I don't even know what I'm doing. Discount? Discount. What did I miss? The only discount I know is this one for planting. Oh, maybe you mentioned it on one of the cards I was holding up, right? Okay, my turn. I think I'm going to plant. Because now I have some dirt. So let's plant some cards. How many cards of 4 costs or higher do I have so far? Only 2. Oh, this is rough. I need to get to 6 before the AI cares. But the AI is about to do it anyway. Yeah, like, how does your brain not burn looking at this many cards to figure out what you want to do on your turn? This is no Candyland. Look at all this options. I'm looking at every single card, all the symbols and colors, and where they could go, and what I'm going to do. And am I drawing too many cards and not composting and creating sprouts, but not spending them? And I need sets for this, but the AI is going to grab that first. Should I go for this one? If I don't go for that one, if they beat me to it, oh my God, so many things. Analysis paralysis. Okay, let's do this. Let's plant this one for free. It's going to be a mushroom. I don't think it matters. Let's plant it here, I think. I don't know. No, I'll plant this like way down here. And that cost me 0 because raindrop. No, maybe I don't do that yet. I want to do so many things. No, I feel like, oh, this game, man, this game. I feel like I want to put that card in, maybe. Maybe this card. This card will do for free later with this one. Oh, I see what I do. Oh, but that costs only 2. No, we need expensive cards. Only expensive ones, Rob. Only play 4 costs or higher ones. Okay, this one's going to cost 4. And I'm going to put it here. Okay. On this one. This one's going to cost 3. And I'm going to put it here. Okay. Then I get to draw 4 cards. Oh, man. Look at a 10 victory point. I have to take this. Because then the AI will get 10 points if I don't, right? So I just have to hate draft them. But they still get 5 points. And I bet there's some amazing cards right there I threw away that would have been awesome for my engine. But, okay. And that is, oh, this green ability I forgot. I do have a green ability. I forgot my growth one. Yep. Okay. So then the AI is now going to take one of the top fauna cards, and we've now completed the deck ones. So I can choose which one. I probably am not going to. I have one set of colors. I just need a blue, a terrain, and another event. And maybe I could get this one before the AI. Or 6+ cards with a dirt cost of 4 or higher. I only have 1, 2, 3. Yeah. What's closer to happening? I don't have another event, so I think I'm just gonna let the AI take that one. Okay, and now my turn. 5 dirt, eh? I'll just take the red ability. I'll take 5 more dirt. 2 composts. Red abilities. I'll draw 2 cards. Okay. And then red ability here, spend a growth to gain 2 sprouts. Spend 2 growth to gain 4 dirt. That's it. Now the AI will gain 2 compost off the deck, plus 1 for every 2 dirt I grabbed, which I got 5, plus 4 is 9, so that's 4 more composted cards. Okay. All right. AI. So once it gets through these 6 cards again, game's over. So like I need to build the 16 before it gets there so I can get 7 points. But I don't know with this expensive engine if I'll get to finish, and I haven't even put that many expensive cards out. Whoops. Grow. I'll take 2 growth maybe? No. I will just take I'll just take 2 cards. I need to compost. I need to get some composting from my hand. All right. Then yellow abilities. So a growth. I guess right here. Spend a growth for 3 dirt. +1 growth on each of the bushes in this column. -1 dirt to gain 3 growth. No, I don't need to do that right now, actually. But it is good. But I think I'll leave it. I want the growth for like slapping cards down faster, I think is better. Okay, so that's our yellow abilities. It's going to gain 7 more growth. So that's 5, 6, 7. +1 for every card I gain this turn, which I took 2. So that'll add 2 more trunks. I don't think I gain any cards from yellow abilities over here, right? So, all right, now our turn. Feel like we're just growing or planting. So 5, 6 or higher, or 4 or higher. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I plant 2 4 or higher right now, I can snag this. Snag it. Plant this one, even though there's no habitats, I'm going to plant it for 6. But it is a good spot for sprout. It has some growth room. And then I think I slam this one in. And this one will cost me 7. And it's the one that's going to fire off a whole bunch of growth tokens. Hopefully I have room for them, but I'm not even going to count, but I'll just do it. I just want to get this in play. It can go way at the bottom. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to gain 10 growth. So here it can take 4. Actually, no. Here we'll do 2 more here. Yep, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just enough to take all of it. I just got to not take the ability that gains me more right now, the ones that spend it, right? Okay. And then I'll draw 4 cards. Oh, there's an event I need, right? Oh, actually I didn't draw all 4. Oh, there's a different event. Okay, so at least if I take one of the events, this one would be 3 victory points for the AI, but if I take it, it's -3 for me. So I'm going to take one of the events for sure, because I need it for my set to get an event in that other one. So I could do lightning or a heat wave. One of them spends growth to gain sprouts. One of them spends sprouts to gain growth. I feel like I take the sprout one because I have no problem with growth right now. I need to actually get rid of some of it. So I'm going to take the lightning one. Plus, it'll gain me a victory point instead of losing me. So that's the card I'll take. even though this gains the AI more victory points, I'm going to do that. And I think I'll just play this right now to spend a growth to gain 2 sprouts. Sure. Okay. So now I think I have my 2 sets, right? For this one. Right? I'm looking for a red, a blue, a yellow, a terrain, and an event. Twice. 2 sets of 5 like that. So if I look, I don't even know if it's the end of my turn. Yeah, it is, because I just gave them... Oh, no, I didn't do my green abilities. Right here is growth. Okay, so I just put that growth back. Okay, so if I definitely have enough yellows to make 2 sets. I have enough reds. I have 3 reds. I have 2 blues. I have 2 events in here, and I have 2 terrains. So I officially have done this one. And now this one, 6 or more cards, each with a soil cost of 4 or higher. Let's see if I can do this. Oh no, you can't see it all. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can now put mine up here, and I beat the AI to that one for 15. So the most it can grab is 11 on that one. And it will get each one, like it just will cycle through the cards and get them. Now this one of 7 plus flora, each with 2 or less. I have 1, 2, only 2. So I don't think I'm going to get this one. This is the one I'm kind of ignoring. If it happens, it happens. But it seems like more of the expensive cards have lots of room. And I am trying to put out lots of room for growth because of this card, but maybe I don't need it anymore. I can put ones with lower growth out, will be fine. Okay. And the other one was 3 or more black abilities. I didn't get there yet, right? I have 1, 2 only. So next plant, I need to put a black one out there. But it's no race. I just put it out by the end of the game. It's fine. But again, for every set of 2, I get 9 victory points each. So I kind of want to have 4 black abilities out there. It's kind of like my sweet spot. Obviously, if I can get more, the better. But they're rare, so I don't expect to see that many. Plus, they hurt your engine, right? Because they're like a one-time thing. They don't do anything else after that. But yeah. All right, perfect. So now the AI goes. We're planting. So I can get my 3rd black ability right now, maybe. Even though I probably shouldn't put it out yet, but... Or maybe I'll just do this free one here. I just hate that I have to give up a plant on that. Like, I have this black ability that just gives dirt, but this isn't... Oh, did I do it wrong? Hold on. I don't want this in this row because I want more of these bushes here, right? I almost messed that one up. Oh, and I want trees in this one, so I don't want it there. Oh, I'm such a mess. All right. Let's see. Oh, and for every 2 cards that cost 4 or more, I'm getting 5 points each. So I want to kind of keep an even number of expensive cards. I don't need to put any more expensive ones because I got this, but it could potentially get us more points on that, right? And I obviously want ones with double habitats, but sets of 3. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm at 12 victory points on this endgame scoring card alone right now. So that's good, I think. All right. So now I'm just debating what to plant here. Let's check that black card. I can plant this. It just costs 1. I want a bush card that takes a lot of stuff. This one is the bush card I want. Oh, this one takes a lot too. I'm going to plant this bush. It only costs 2, doesn't get us a double habitat. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Damn it. Too many options. Oh yeah, I need to get this in to start composting cards on red. I probably should already did that. Okay, I'm going to plant the cheap one. And this will go, what's that red one? It's a raindrop. It's a fungus. So I'll just do this here. So I can plant that for free. Okay, I draw a card. Okay. That's a, okay. Then activate green abilities, so I get a growth. I don't know if I can even put it anywhere. No, there is nowhere to put it. Yeah, so I just waste that. That's fine. And then draw 3 cards to be added to the victory points of the AI. So they get 3 more points. There's the events. Okay, my turn. I only have 1 black ability still to choose from. I think I'll just bite on it. I'm going to plant again. I know it's crazy. I'm going to plant. This one is free for me. It goes in the bush line here. It has only 1 space for growth, but it could lead to the 7 I need for this. I would need 4 more cheap growth spots. But it gives me a black ability and gives me 4 dirt right away. Okay. Yeah, it's free to plant. So now I have the 3 black abilities, so I can grab that in a second at the end of my turn. And I'm going to give up the next growth to do this ability. Oh, I forgot to fire this off, right? After I planted that, I could have fired off green abilities. I forgot this green ability. So I can get rid of some of these cards in my hand that I don't need anymore. I'll just do this one and this one. Sure. Okay, so I can compost some of these cards from my hand to turn them into victory points and to help my sanity of not looking at 8,000 options every time. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm missing is like a compost engine with all the card draw I keep taking. But that's there, but now it's going to blow up. I'm going to get rid of it, but I will replace it with another one. So I skip my second growth to compost this card and replace it with a red ability at no cost and then draw 2 cards. So I turn it into a victory point. I'm going to go yellow on a big 8 cost one, which is a compost card. I'm going to throw that right there and I get to draw 2 cards. Ah, damn it. I drew a good bush. That would have been nice in this last row here, but it's okay. Then, where was this? Oh, this is me. Now I'm going to draw 4 cards and I get to keep 1 and give the AI the rest. Now this -4, if I give it to the AI, it's a +4. But it does draw me a ton of cards, but it does spend growth. Actually, spending growth is kind of good for me to clear off space, right? Yeah, this is kind of dumb late, right? Like, I don't need to reduce fungus cards or whatever, but it would have been good if I had that earlier. Yeah, let's just, damn. I'm going to take the Hurricane, I think, but it gives 6 points to the AI. It's fine. I'll take it. I might be able to generate more points with this. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to put it here. I spend 3 growth. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that's the best way to do that, but I'm doing it anyway. 3 growth to gain 6 sprouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are victory points, right? 6. Okay. And then I fire off green abilities now for this one, which is just gain a growth. Sure. Oh no, I can gain one over here. Like normally you want to have these caps on them so you get the most victory points of the game or just to end abruptly, which is we're still far away from, but not that far. But I have this ability, right, that keeps putting growth tokens on the right column here. So I kind of want to just keep taking advantage of those free things if I take the yellow again. I don't know if I'll take the yellow again, but the AI already took the yellow. I don't know, it's risky, but we'll do it. Might have to take it one more time before the end of the game if we can. But we do have other ways to get growth tokens, I think. No, maybe not. Oh, well. Okay. And I gave the AI my discarded. Okay, we're done there. Now the AI is going to flip. We're watering. So I could take dirt or cubes, and then I get to activate blue or multicolor abilities. I will take dirt. Yep. And we get to fire off blues. So I could spend 2 dirt. Sure. To get 4 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one more space on that card. Okay. And then this one I can spend a dirt to get 3 more cubes. Sure. Getting near the end of the game, I got to start turning some of these resources that aren't points into points. But it might be bad. I might not have enough dirt to build the things I want, but I'm going to go with it. Okay. And that was my blues. Now this guy's going to get 7 plus 1 for each blue ability I have, which is 2. So he's going to get 9 more of these cubes. So there's 4 more. And we'll just give him a 5. Okay. Now it's my turn. Just trying to think what I might play in the future, just so I know, like, should I take the soil action, or do I even need to anymore? I probably should just get rid of some of these cards that I hand. Yeah, I'm gonna take the soil action. It will give me more cards, which is nice. So I'm gonna take 5 soil. 2, 3, 4, 5. Compost 2 cards. Red actions, I'll draw 2 cards. Okay. Okay. There's some 4 cost abilities. This one has 2 habitats, has the cheap growth spot. Okay, okay. Okay. All right, all right. Then I'll do this one to spend a growth. Spend a growth. And gain 2 cubes. Down here, I'm going to spend 2 growth. I gotta be careful here. 1, 2. 2 growth. And we gain 4 dirt. And then here I get to take 3 cards out of my hand. Sure, I'll just grab these 3 and turn them into compost. So those will be a victory point each, instead of just sitting in my hand. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't move my thing. And then this guy's gonna gain 2 cards, compost, plus the dirt I got was 5, 9. So another 4 cards, right? Ew, I don't know if that was smart. Might have taken too much dirt, but I plan on just hammering growth actions out for the rest of the game, I think. I don't know if that's the right play, but that's what I'm going to do. Or maybe 2 growth, and then fire off a yellow, which could complete maybe some of these things. All right, here we go. So it's going to get the other lower one. Lower. Yep, it beat me to that one. That's fine. And then I'm going to say growth. Let's plant. Oh, I see. I'll say I didn't put that one here. Yes, yes. Plant this one for 4. Let's plant this one for 5. Then we draw 4 cards. We keep 1. Give the AI the rest. Oh, this might be good to get some cards off the deck. Oh, this one's... Oh, look at this. 15 costs. I've never seen a 15 cost card before. 3 points. Oh, for each card with 4 or more victory points. The symbol. Basic VP on cards. Oh, this is the basic VP number. So then that means I think this one's with 2 or less growth tokens on it, maybe. I don't know. I already blew that nuke thing up. I already blew it up. Boom. I might just keep this so the AI doesn't get 4 victory points. I won't be able to plant it, but yeah, I think I just hate draft them. Yup. Now green abilities. I get 1 growth. And we did that. All right. Second to last turn. AI takes the top one of that. So now we can't complete our tableau because that card that blew up one that actually messed us up. It put us 1 off, and I thought that might happen. So we actually won't be able to get these 7 points from completing this, unfortunately. Even if I took it, I could take the yellow action, which might be worth more victory points than planting. Yeah, let's just do that, I think. It's because all the cards we're going for a lot of expensive ones, I think. That also slowed us down a bit. Yeah, we'll just take the yellow action final. I don't know what action they're giving us last. Let's check. It's the red, the dirt one, which is kind of garbage for us, but oh well. Yeah, sometimes the order of how these come out definitely mess with you too, because if he took the red earlier, gave me more dirt, I maybe would have planted again quicker, but it's okay. So yeah, let's just do the yellow. I don't even want to sit here. I could like calculate Wick could get me the more victory points, but I'm like not, I don't like playing these games that way really. But yeah, I could sit here like, oh, I could plant these, they'll give me this, but then how many habitats and how many points on here and how many points there. But I'm just, for simplicity's sake, we're just demoing the game today. We'll play this, which will, I don't have to take any cards. I'm not going to take any cards, so that'll give them less points. I will take 2 growths. I'll put them right here. Fire off yellow abilities. This one will get me a growth. How do we do this? I guess we just put it right here. And then this one I can spend a growth to get dirt. Dirt's not worth anything to me. This one I get to put growth on all of the bushes in this column. So we'll put back those canopies we spent earlier. And then this one, yellow ability here, -1 dirt for 3 growths. I think we're good. But yeah, let's just go 1, 2. Everything else is covered. Okay. And then here I get to put growth on the adjacent things here, but it's okay. And then the AI is going to get 1 growth for every card I drew this turn, but it was 0, so it doesn't get anything. And yeah, now the AI will go for the final turn. Compost. Hello? So we'll just do the composting cards. I don't need dirt right now. So we'll just take 2 cards from the deck at 2 points. Then the AI, oh yeah, red abilities. I don't, unless I draw events, that I guess that could be a thing. Yeah. Oh, I didn't choose the red action. I may have cheated before. I didn't choose the red action this time, so I can't do this. This I could spend a growth, but I'm not going to. This I could spend growth, but I'm not going to. This I'm going to do cards out of hand. Kind of doesn't matter. Compost 3 cards. Okay, then it's going to compost 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't take any dirt on the turn, so it gets no extra cards. And it actually scored this 7 bonus because it beat me to finishing its tableau. Bullcrap. All right. And that is the end. Oh, why did I think I was drawing cards? Yeah, I wasn't drawing cards. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. So I just have all this crap in my hand that was inefficiently used. So now we're going to total up victory points. This is where it may be not that cool, but all right, we're going to put an R for me and a D for the bot named Dirtbag. Okay, now we're going to total up. So the AI does not get ecosystem points or terrain points. So I can just cross those off. Okay, so we don't care about that. Let's go at the top. So this is just add up victory points on cards that you've put in play and planted and your starting cards here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 23, 25, 29, 33, 37. So I got 37. Don't ask me if that's good. I don't know. Dirtbag, what did you do? Oh, Dirtbag, you just get to add up all the points on these 4,000 cards here that I gave you or you stole from the deck. Okay. 2, 3. These are positives. Negatives are positives for the AI. Lame. I wish you could like give it negatives, you know, like on purpose and mess with it more. But 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 26, 31, 32, 36. Did I just mess that all up? Probably. 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 26, 31, 32, 36, 37, 40, 42. 42. It beat me there. Okay. Event cards. Oh yeah, it doesn't score for event cards either. That's another thing I don't think it scores. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, okay, we're good. So now we'll do our event cards, and you just literally look in here and add the positives, negatives, whatever, so it evens out to 0. Because I got a +1, -1, and a 0. No event points for me. Okay, now the points on here are for compost cards. So it's the face down cards and all of our composts. And it's literally just counting cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. 20 piles of dirt. Now the AI Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32. They also tell you in the game, don't clean up anything because of tiebreakers and multiplayer, because there's so many things that are tiebreakers. So don't start cleaning up as you count things like you do in some of these games, because you might mess yourself up. The next thing is the cubes, the green cubes for Sprout. So over here, we're just using dice. So what do we got? 11, 17? 17, easy. Dirtbag got 17. Over here, now it's a little more annoying. 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. All right. The next one is for each growth, but then your canopies will get you the points on the right of the little space. So for the AI, it's here. So we know it's got 25 in the first one, plus another 7. So that is 32, plus another 4. So 36. 36. Okay. And we got, what do we got here? So if you look here, oh, you can't see them all. I messed that up. But you take the right number if you have a canopy. So it's super easy. 2, 3, 6, 9, no, 12. We're at 12. 15. 15 plus 6, 21. 26. 32. 33. 39. 40. 40 from our growth. We had none that weren't completed, so we didn't have to add any chunks like this. Whoops. All right. Next is our terrain cards. So we look in our tableau and see any terrain cards if they have any end game scoring stuff. These ones, this one just has like a black ability that just happened once, it's gone. This one says 3 points for every tree in this column. I only have 1, so that's 3 more points. And I really light on terrain cards. Usually I have 4 or 5 terrain cards near the bottom that are just giving me points and stuff, or putting them in certain areas, but this game was a little different. Definitely different because of this. So I just get 3 points for terrain cards, nothing crazy. And this one is not a terrain card. It's a brown ability, but not on terrain cards. So we don't look at that. Now we go to the ecosystems. I guess we'll do this one first. So 9 points for every 2 black abilities. I got 1, 2, 3, and never got a third going or a fourth going. So I do get 9 points there. Then the next one was, now this one I was kind of trying to work on the whole time. So 4 victory points for every 3 cards with 2 or more habitats, and it does count your island and climate cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 4 sets of 3. So 4 points for every set. So 4 times, so that's 16 points, right? Yeah. Now, my personal ecosystem card, 5 points for every 2 cards, each costing 4 or more soil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what did I say? 5. So we have 4 sets basically. So 20 points. Yell at me anytime I'm like, my math doesn't sound right. All right. And then next, the last thing is the fauna cards, or the fauna board. So we know the AI got the 7 victory points on the fauna board for this, plus 11, so that's 18, plus 15, that's 33, right? Plus, oh, I got this. I forgot to put that out there, right? Yeah, I have 3 black abilities. I forgot to put that out there, but it's there. It's because I wasn't racing, so I kind of forgot. Okay, so sorry, where was I? So it got 30, 45, 56, 63, 63 points on the fauna board. Holy. But me on the fauna board, I only got 11 plus 15, that's 26. Plus another 11, that is 37. Ooh. I normally, when I play this game, this is all I'm working towards, like getting these fauna cards in the game as fast as possible. But this game, I was trying to do too much. I think too much. And it just didn't, the AI beat me there all over the place. So if we total up the scores, my sanity, we're gonna use Mel's trusty calculator. So let's total up my score, 37 plus 20 plus 26 plus 40 plus 3, oops, 9 plus 3 plus 16 plus 20 plus 37 equals 208. 208. Okay, and the AI has 42 plus 32 plus 17 plus 36 plus 63 equals 190. Yeah. A winner is me. We beat Dirtbag. I don't know how. I felt like there was nothing. There was no oil in my machine at all. Like it's not even a lightly oiled machine, except for maybe the growth stuff was kind of cool. And maybe the sprouts were really happening and I wasn't realizing it. It was the sprouts were unintentional, but yeah. Dirtbag sucks, all skill. Yeah. I don't know about the skill though. I felt like I was losing because I couldn't get these and it was beating me to all of them, but it's just like a 4 victory point difference, but I totally missed out on one. I thought that would have screwed me right there. Yeah, it maybe came down to the hate drafting, right? Where I just took cards that were garbage just because I didn't, that were garbage for me, just because I didn't want them to have them. Also, Richard, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. But yeah, there you go. That's Earth Solo. Look how pretty it is on the table, right? Look at all the little colors everywhere. All the little trees. Oh, little trees. All the colorful cards and beautiful little art. All the little tubs of tokens. How do you not want to? I mean, I should have more cubes here. Let me correct how the game should look for you if you're not playing with dice. Okay. Should be more like this. There's a bunch of cubes over here and a bunch of these here instead. Okay, there you go. Oh, maybe some of these. Oh yeah, it never got to dirt. It never got a lot of dirt. Probably because I wasn't taking this action ever, maybe. Which is completely different than the last time I played where I was taking that action way more. Based on what was needed for the victory points, what was going on in my hand and engine and starting cards. I do like that a lot. It does have that Prelude feeling from Terraforming Mars. I remember playing Terraforming Mars a whole bunch, and then you guys were like, get Prelude, it makes the game even better. That whole idea of like picking your starting cards, drafting, getting some kind of focus in play. I like how this has that already from the start. And I love how the victory conditions can change and everyone's racing. But then there's victory conditions that like anyone can just kind of work on. And then I like this whole like, it makes my head hurt, but the whole idea of placement on what should be adjacent and what should be left and right, top to bottom, so it fires before other things, and which colors I should be focusing on planting earlier based on when I'm taking those actions. That is a whole other level to the game that I can see getting like 10, 20 plays in. And I'm still personally struggling with like, I'll start to wrap my head around it. But like you can see how many cards only went in a solo game, right? Not a lot. There's so many cards we didn't even touch. And all the setup cards. Look how many setup cards we didn't even use. Like, you know, for our board, for our ecosystem, for our fauna. And plus they're all double-sided. Like that's the replayability is nuts. And you need it. You need a replayability variance for this game, right? Because it's like, it's pretty straightforward if you think about it. But man, it's the possibilities that are insane. But yeah, the fiddly little tokens and stuff, I like eggs. Those eggs are better, but I mean, it's fine. It looks cool on a table. It looks cool on a marketing picture for a Kickstarter. I can see why they went this way. But it's fun. It's fun. I like it. Doesn't take up too much table space. It's not like Ark Nova, you need a giant board and you got your own board in front of you, plus all the, the big board and everything. I mean, solo, there is still quite a bit of boards here, but yeah, you don't have the big common board for Terraforming Mars, so it's a little more multiplayer solitaire. The only common board you have is this, just kind of letting you know what you're working towards. I do like the area control aspect of Terraforming Mars. This reminds me more of Everdell, actually. I feel with the tableau, the giant deck, the racing for victory points. This is more Everdell, I think. Out of those games that I've played in this genre, if you like what you just saw, check out Everdell also if you've never played it, because maybe Everdell is more thematic. You know, maybe it draws your gaming group in more based on the theme and the squishy berries and you know, the little cute creatures and stuff. But not all the cards in that are unique in that deck. It does have a giant deck and you don't see all the cards every game. But I do like in Everdell the way the those like achievements you're racing for. There's like big ones and little ones. And it has the worker placement on it also. So there's more player interaction trying to steal spaces. I personally would rather go for Everdell over this. It just has all the same stuff I feel this game has, but it has, you got to care about the players at the table more. In this, you can care about the players at the table, trying to race them, but that's about it. It's like, and I know this game's not supposed to have mean stuff in it. It doesn't seem like it would fit real well, where you're like polluting other people's islands or something. It doesn't make sense in this kind of game, but I just like games that have more of the interaction. Ark Nova, solo, I would take this over Ark Nova every day of the week. It's just more of my stuff. There's like less things. I feel like I like this tableau idea. I like how it's just a card game. The AI is very smooth. I don't remember the AI from Ark Nova really. Did I even stream that solo? I don't even remember. But I like multiplayer Ark Nova a lot. I probably would play multiplayer Ark Nova over this, just because I like the added zoo building, which is kind of like building your tableau, right? It's kind of the same idea, right? Placement of things. Yeah, man, it's so similar. All these games are just so similar to each other. It's like you just have to pick the one that like your group likes the best pictures on, really. But again, Ark Nova I feel like was more complicated to learn because of the sliding actions. But it still has like a lighter version of that, right? Kind of. I don't know. It's weird. They're all like so similar. I don't know about owning all of them unless those are the only type of games you like. Then it's like you just ask your gaming group, like, what do you guys feel like doing today? Building a zoo, building an island, trying to make Mars into a home, or building a little village with little cute animal creatures, like, you know? Now, Janet, that's the kind of solitaire I like. Like, again, solitaire games, like when I talk about replayability in this, I would probably replay it for the engine that I'm trying to make that is different. But racing to a better score, like, I like how I'm competing against AI for score and not just playing against my own previous score. I like that a lot. But I do prefer better just to play these multiplayer games. Like the replayability I keep talking about is more for the multiplayer of just how many different combos and every player's cards they draw and choices they make and starting islands and ecosystems and all that, right? It's just like every time it's a little different, which I think is cool. Like I played before, I had like a sprout engine, but I didn't have a growth engine like this. It was cool. I played one time where I was drawing so many cards, I literally had like 30 plus cards in hand, and then I got a compost engine going mid-game, and then I like my compost pile was like twice the size of this. That's what I did one time. It was fun. But it all depends on too what these are looking for. I've also raced to try to fill up my tableau and completed it last time I played against a solo. I just went growth like so many turns in a row and was just playing cheap cards down to beat the AI to get this 7 points. I don't know if that was a smart play. I still beat them, but yeah. Yeah, it's just it's a neat game. Cute little game, not expensive. It's just one of those games. I don't know. Yeah, it could come down to price when you're like comparing like, how is this compared to Ark Nova? Which one's easier to find? Is Terraforming Mars easier to find? Is Ares Expedition a better version for your game group? Maybe that's the comparison. Maybe not regular Terraforming Mars, because that's an uglier, kind of crappier produced game that needs a second edition. I don't know. Did it get a second edition yet? It should. Make all the fans mad of the first edition expansions being obsolete. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Everdell, quality production, building your little village. Yeah, I don't know, man. Brian says, I hope you try the Ark solo campaign. Is that part of the fan-made one Jana's talking about? That makes it feel like multiplayer? And Velco's saying as a recommendation, you should try Arno solo mode for Ark Nova. Is that the fan one, Velco? Beats official, in my opinion. Beats official. Oh, okay. So this is like Race for the Galaxy? Oh, you keep mentioning it, Yogi? Rob 1, Dirtbag 0. Now it's officially Rob 2, Dirtbag 0 at medium difficulty. So I think I need to play at harder difficulty because I beat the AI, I think, by like 10-ish points. Now I've beat it by almost 20 points. So I feel like I should try on hard next time I play. And I'd be using these bottom abilities, which, what is different about them? Plant 2, 4, they get 3 cards. That's the same, right? 5 dirt, 2 compost. Oh, they get 5 cards composted off the deck instead of 2. So the red ability is better for them. The green ability, oh yeah, they get more sprouts, or just in general, 2 more sprouts than this. Yep, and this gives them 2 more growth than this. So in a harder difficulty game, the difference would have been they would have way more points here, and they would have had more growth here. So I probably would have lost, I think, based on my whatever it is I did here. This I don't know, this, whatever you call this, an island. I don't know if I'd call it an island for sure, but it's something. It's something. But yeah, I like when I saw cards like I don't know where I put them, but yeah, I probably put them back in there. There were some fun. Oh, here's multicolor cards. We didn't even see one in our hand the whole game, right? I don't think. Maybe we saw one. But these multicolor cards, I was hoping I'd see one to just show you how they worked. But it's just cool when you get one of those early in the game, you plop it down, and then it's always firing off every time you take one of these 3 abilities, or the AI does, right? So it's just like always an option. And then in the game, end game scoring, anytime you care about colors, it's helping those, you know, all the scoring for different cards, right? Like when you do another scoring card, you could count that as a blue. And then you do another scoring card, you can count it as a red, you know, which is kind of cool. Yeah, the Arnak solo campaign, they're officially printing that one, right? That's like an expansion coming out or already out. I want to play it if they're doing official printing. I remember you guys wanted me to play it before, but then it was like a print and play during COVID, and I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go out to my house to print it on a color printer at the store. But I just don't like playing with like play testing components. I used to play test and print out proxy cards. I don't like playing my games. I'm too bougie, man. I like playing with production quality stuff. Hence why I don't do a lot of Kickstarter previews, because if they don't print it at a production quality facility, I don't want to play with your pencil and paper garbage, your prototype components. No thanks. That's just me. That's just me. But yeah, if they're releasing the campaign in an actual physical expansion, production quality retail expansion, I will grab it and we'll try it. Which I think is happening. I think is a thing. I think it's becoming a thing. I think it's this year's one of their things they're selling this year at Gen Con, I think. But I could be wrong. The fan-made Arno solo makes... Oh yeah, I already read that. But yeah, there's Earth. That was Earth. That's a solo play of Earth. I think I'll play it. Probably we'll play some multiplayer of it on stream with Mel maybe this weekend. We'll see. But yeah, I do like it. Solid game. Definitely a quality game. I can see why it has the hype. Because it's just like, you get that same feeling you get from Ark Nova, Terraforming Mars, Wingspan, all you know, Everdell. All these games that are like evergreen games, have had tons of expansions, are super hot, blew up the hot new list are all ranked super high. So it's just like basically like, you know, I don't want to say copying, but it's literally just like, you know, this publisher Inside Up Games version of Wingspan, Terraforming Mars. Like they just wanted to get a game that was in that category. And man, that category is like, if you do it right, it just like people love it and need to have it. It's crazy. They're not happy just owning Terraforming Mars and just owning Wingspan and just owning Everdell and just owning Ark Nova. Like, and there's probably other games again that I don't know and I haven't played, but it is in that category. So if you love those games I keep yelling, play this one, or maybe you don't need this one because you have them, but at least look into it. And the other one is, before you jump on this game, if you haven't played those other ones I keep saying, look at all of them, because they all have the same vibe, the same feel, the same engine building, the same like kind of multi and solo player experience. They're just, the themes are different, some mechanics are different, but the same, like, you know, tableau building or that stuff, it's in a few of them, right? So it's like whatever theme appeals to you or your group, whatever game mechanics just look good to you, but they all have the same vibe, they all fit the same category, but they're all super solid and people love them for valid reasons. Like, I can't hate on them. They're definitely a solid game. I feel they don't take that long to teach. They don't take that long to play. They cook my brain, which is good, in a short amount of time. I definitely have fun with them. Nice table presence. I just wish I had more player interaction in some of them, but that's the only component in it that would draw me to pick one over the other probably. But the only real negative I can say from this game is I hate shuffling the main deck. These games with the decks of 300 cards that you need to shuffle every time you play, I hate that. I hate shuffling these giant decks. That's the only thing. That's it. That's all I got that I can hate on this game for. But yes, thank you everyone for supporting the channel. Thanks to these people right here for donating to the channel, allowing us to buy games like this from our local game store. Much appreciated. Thank you all you who spend the time watching. Thanks to all 29 of you who click the like button. Please click the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and the channel promotion and all that stuff. Much appreciated. I do have a card shuffler. We use it once on stream. It's so loud. It's like a super cheap, loud one. So I don't like using it on stream. But I literally sat here like 30 minutes before stream shuffling. No joke. Probably literally 30 minutes. I was like making all separate piles and then putting them all together, shuffling each little pile, putting them out again in different piles, like trying to really mix it up so that we made sure we saw some events, some multicolored cards, some green abilities, because those are more rare. But yeah, I don't play these games enough to even justify buying a real card shuffler. Yeah, because most of the games I play have decks that I can shuffle with my hands. This one is like just extra work. But the cool part is, though, when you do play this game, it kind of shuffles itself, right? With all the composting piles and the players drawing and them planting and the main discard pile and all that stuff. So if you just took all those cards after and just kind of smash them together, it's kind of shuffled after your game anyway, if you think about it. Just cut it a few times. Because not everyone's starting the next game drawing the same amount of cards, so hopefully you don't just draw into some good engines, you know? And then I like the way everyone's kind of forced to compost cards right off the start, which is kind of neat. So you can't even keep everything you draw. So even if you drew into somebody's previous nice little back-to-back cards that all work together, you might not be able to keep them all. And or afford them all based on the dirt you're getting, or soil. But yeah. I guess that's it. Child labor is cheap. Yeah. Chelsea, I need you to shuffle my card deck before I play today, please. What? You don't want to eat dinner then? Because if you don't shuffle my cards, no food for you. Anyways, I don't know, that's Earth. So yeah, if you want to see more of it multiplayer, stay tuned to the channel. We'll probably play it again. Tomorrow we're streaming Power Rangers, the deck building game. Mel and I are going to play it 2-player. Join us for that. Also, if you're looking for any of those other games that I mentioned, we have streamed Ark Nova, Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, Everdell, Wingspan, all that stuff you can find on the channel. Just hit the little search button below and you can search for those playthroughs on the channel. We've done those in the past. But yeah, we're also playing more Frosthaven this weekend. More Hunters AD on Friday with Kyle, hopefully. And yeah, so come check out our other playthroughs on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for playing along. Thanks to you commenting later for the rules corrections I messed up. I'm sure I did something wrong. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game down below. Other people will read it too. So I'd love to hear thoughts from people who've played more of these kind of games than I have, or maybe see it a little differently. Or did it fall flat for you? You know, is it great? What do you find about this game? Love to hear it below. But yeah, definitely a cool game. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.